Scotty, beam me down. Hey, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. That's one of my favorite shows. I used to love me some Star Trek. Scotty. That was Scotty's voice. Wasn't that Scotty's voice? No, that was Scotty's voice. I just have to say my voice. Scotty, beam me down. And Scotty, okay. Was it Scotty? Scotty did the beaming, right? Scotty did the beaming. He's like, let me go back out. We need to go down. Scotty, I need to go down to the earth and talk to the silly humans because they're destroying their planet. They don't have no damn sense. They're killing each other and they're just doing silly, dumb stuff. Can you send me down to the planet? Okay, I'll send you down. I know, I'm silly. I'm silly. That's just what I do. All right, hold on. Let me get my comments up here so I can see what's going on. I'm a little late this morning. It's hot here. We got a snowstorm going. It's crazy outside, man. People running around screaming, snow falling everywhere. It's just crazy. I don't know y'all on the East Coast, but on the East Coast of the United States, we got it bad over here. Mm. Yeah, Crystal, it's cold outside. It's not cold in here though. It's it's hot in here. So, oh man. But you know what? The climate always changes. It gets warm, then it gets cold, then it gets hot, then it rains. You have all of this just crazy weather patterns. It's just how it goes. So, uh, I came on a little late this morning because I had to make my coffee. I woke up this morning and I don't have my coffee machine, you know, the blender where you blend up the coffee seeds, the coffee berries, beans, things. And so I had to do it by hand. It was kind of like a pummel thing where you get the coffee bean and you put it between two bowls. I'm learning how to survive, y'all, because when the zombie apocalypse comes, you got to have coffee. If you don't have coffee, you're going to have a bad, bad time. So what you do is you get the coffee beans, you put them between two bowls, and you just go back and forth and you can crack them up. So it actually worked for me. If your power's out, you got to make coffee. It's a good little quick, simple way to make coffee beans. So I'm hanging out down here in Antarctica. And who we got this morning? We got Brother Harvey and Renee and Joyce and Crystal and Cindy. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Brother Joseph. Brother Joseph, ooh, Brother Joseph, we had a great conversation the other day. I have to I have to think about what you gave me. You have to text that to me again, but that'll be something real interesting to talk about. And Buddha's in the house. Good morning. Weather whiplash, yes, Crystal, but the planet's always changing. It's always doing its thing, and everybody's always trying to convince us they know why it's doing it, they know how it's doing it, they know when it's going to do it again next. And I don't think anybody knows. I think people just make this stuff up and they try to figure out always how to make money on something, always how to make money on ignorance. And I guess I'm just not so interested in that. So I was looking at Antarctica this morning. You drinking hazelnut coffee? Oh yeah, I like hazelnut coffee. Hazelnut is good. I like dark roast though. Mostly I like my dark roast because I wake up in the morning. I have to get going. You gotta go out and pick your cotton. I need a lot of extra juice to pick my cotton. And I look at the news and I try to see what's happening in the news. Who's fussing at who's fighting who, where the wars are going. But there's some good stuff I think that's happening in the news today, actually. Let me turn my phone off so it just doesn't get to buzzing. So hopefully everybody's doing good this morning. I was looking at Antarctica because Antarctica is interesting. I love mysteries. I love to know like what's going on. Like there was a that's you know what? I wanted to look at Antarctica always has some crazy stuff going. It's the one continent that we are not allowed to go to. And I that's why I love Antarctica. The problem is we're not allowed to go there, so we don't know what the heck is going on there. And and so it was a couple years back, I think Carrie, let me play I'm gonna play you something real quick. I listened to this show. Oh, y'all gonna judge me when I say this. I'm gonna get judged, but I think some of y'all might listen to these people too. Hold on. I listen to this show called Coast to Coast. And Coast to Coast, it's important to listen to Coast to Coast. Because Coast to Coast, they have everything on there, y'all. They have everything from aliens to ghosts to people just abducting, getting chupacabras and Loch Ness monsters and Bigfoots and just all kind. Just think of the craziest thing you can think of, and it'll appear on Coast to Coast, which is why I kind of like Coast to Coast. I find it to be a really interesting thing, but for the most part, it teaches me, right? When you listen to, I don't want to say crazy. That's wrong. That's the wrong. I don't say crazy people, but when you listen to people who like to put a little sugar on a story, it teaches you how to process fake news, right? It teaches you when you got a friend that lies a lot, can't tell the truth, just always just making up some lies, just always just putting shaking sugar on it. You got a lying husband, lying boyfriend or girlfriend, so they always making something up. You got kids that love to lie. It makes you good at spotting when somebody's not telling the truth, right? Like their facial expressions. People always they do certain things to scratch their face or they look right or they look left, and it's a left right brain thing that happens. But it also teaches you how to process when somebody's just giving you some bullshizzle. So I like it. I like it. But I'm gonna play you this clip. It's a radio show, and they were talking about Antarctica and a lot of dignitaries and really important people. John Kerry, Obama, and a few of them. I think it was last year, 2 years ago. They went to Antarctica, and so everybody was trying to figure out why. But yeah, listen to this for a minute.
Why did some dignitaries and politicos, including then Secretary of State John Kerry, head for Antarctica? What were they looking for? And that happened about a year or so ago.
That's right. Yes, that happened in 2016. That there were a number of dignitaries: Buzz Aldrin, John Kerry, the Russian Orthodox Patriarch, Australia's Governor General went down there as well. And so they were down there, I mean, ostensibly to kind of look at the penguins. That's the kind of cover story.
Yeah, right.
Give. But it's like, well, what could possibly be happening? I think what's been happening is that because Antarctica has been experiencing this dramatic heating up, that there are parts of Antarctica which are now being exposed that have been under the ice for many thousands of years. And they're finding things. They're finding artifacts. They're finding bodies. They're finding even cities. They're finding spacecraft down there. And as they have been finding these things, then they have been covertly excavating them, sending teams of scientists down there to kind of record it all. And I think these dignitaries went down there because they were given access to some of the things that were being discovered. And so, well, why is this happening now? Why is Antarctica melting? And I think this is where we really need to kind of look at the real explanation that's driving the melting of the ice caps in Antarctica, which is these large number of volcanoes that have been discovered. And the volcanoes are concentrated in western Antarctica. And this is
So I'm gonna stop there. So everyone's been going to Antarctica. Always follow the rich people, y'all. Where the rich people go, that's where you need to look, because that's where you. So if it's like a shooting, something crazy happening, you always follow the black people. Just run with them. Just they know where to go. Run, duck, hide. Just you hear some gunshots, just run. Oh, that'll get me in trouble. And in times of peace, and you don't see nothing going on, always follow the rich people. Wherever they run, go with them. So, but so they're all going to Antarctica, and people wonder what the hell is in Antarctica. And so, all over Google Earth, you got people looking for images, and someone found this where it looks like something crashed, and they got some tanks. And so John Kerry went there. I think when Edgar Mitchell went there, he was one of the astronauts. He got down there and he went crazy, like something, and he tweeted something. I forgot what he tweeted. Somebody might say it in the room, but he got down there and he tweeted something like the end is near or the monster ate my foot. or something. I forgot. He said something crazy. I forgot what it was, but it was crazy. It was just like he saw something down there he wasn't supposed to see, and then and he got back and said, yeah, I forgot what it turned into. And then you had the scientists that went down there and they disappeared. And then the pilot went to go pick him up, and he flew over the wrong part of Antarctica, and they saw the big hole in the ground and all the vehicles and stuff around it. It's something in Antarctica they don't want us to know about. And I got a theory. Yes, brother Chris, always follow the money. Follow the money, y'all. Follow the elites. Wherever rich people go, that's where you need to look, because that might be where the bunker's at. That's where the gun's at. That's where you can hide, find some safety, some food, water, something. Always follow the rich people. Just don't let them walk away. And so if they're going to Antarctica, there's something down there. And I think it has to do with the melting. That's what I think. Because, you got climate change going on. And to me, the climate's changing because it always changes. I have no interest in fighting with anybody over who done it, why they doing it, how much money they making over doing it, which countries do more of it. I don't care about it. I don't think that any of us are smart enough to make anything yet that can change the climate on this planet. I don't. I'm sorry. And I don't think it's cow poop either, or cow gas they say it is. I don't. I think this planet is always changing. And I think it's more important, instead of arguing back and forth who's doing climate change, I think the human beings need to try to prepare for it's changing. So anyway, so there's a lot of theories, but what they were talking about, I think it was last year, they found 100 volcanoes in Antarctica. And so what's happening, so I think this is all related. I think, personally, I think Atlantis might be down there. I think Atlantis might actually be there, and I'm okay with that. So, and I know if you're watching for the first time, like, what the hell is he talking about? I talk about crazy stuff, y'all. Why? Because I think our way out of the silly, dumb world we're in is by the masses coming together. And how do you bring the masses together? You bring them together on one common point. The rich people always lying to us poor people. And so if the poor people, and by poor people, who am I talking about? If you don't have $1 billion in the bank, because that's like the heights of poverty. A billion still might be poverty, but if you have less than $1 billion in the bank, you are definitely impoverished. They lie to you. They don't ever tell you the truth about nothing. Unless you're in government. They'll let a few of them in government know a little something was going on. So I'm okay with everybody's theory. It can be a UFO. There's some tanks around. There's some pyramids. Y'all see the pyramids? I'm okay with the pyramids. I'm okay with flat earth. Can have some walls down there. And I'm okay. Sauron. What's his name? Sauron. I'm okay with him down there. I'm okay with all of it, because I ain't never been there. They won't let me go there, and I want to go. No, actually, I don't. Nah, I take that back. I don't want to go. It's cold. I changed my mind. I don't want to go. But I want somebody to go. I want y'all to go. If we can agree that we don't ever know the truth on anything, and we don't fight about stuff we don't know, then we can all agree across the board. Everybody hold hands. People who believe in flat earth, people who believe in aliens and UFO, people who believe that the Democrats lie about everything, people who believe the Republicans lie about everything, people who believe Chupacabra chewing people's foots off, people who believe the aliens take the cows. If we can agree that we're always being lied to and stop fighting with each other, man, we could find out some delicious stuff. I like the ancient archaeology. I think that in Antarctica, I think the ice is melting because of the volcanoes. I'm going to put a theory out there. Let me show you this picture. Hold on. Let me show you this picture. I got too many pictures up here. This might be a long one, y'all. I don't know. I'm laying it. Y'all, I don't know if you could tell. I'm laying in the bed. I'm relaxed today. I don't have to go to the plantation. No cotton for me. What's the Harry Belafonte song? Jump down, turn around, pick a bale of cotton. Going to jump down, turn around, pick a bale of hay. I ain't jumping down nowhere today, master. You can stick that cotton, that cell phone, that you can stick it all up your butt today, because I ain't working today. So, all right, let me show you this. I'm gonna stop being stupid. Let me show you something. I think that, wait a minute, is this it right here? That's not it. I don't know why Harry Belafonte would make a song like that. That's just some racism, man. So y'all out there saying Trump racist. Now Harry Belafonte racist. Why would you make a song about picking cotton? Anyway. I wanted to show you something. What was I going to show you? I was going to show you, oh, this right here. Look at this. So this is what I think. I think in Antarctica that see all the red dots, y'all? Red dots on a map usually means it's something bad. Anytime you see something red, that's bad. Don't ever go towards anything red. Red is bad. When they do the terror alert, when it's red, it means that they paid ISIS to do a whole lot of bad stuff that week. Don't go outside. Don't go to the movies, the theaters, or nothing. Stay in your house. Red is always bad. So red on the map is volcanoes. So check this out. This is crazy. And this ain't all of them. So they found volcanoes all over Antarctica, and they're mostly on the western coast, right? And so the volcanoes are going off. There's a fault line. It's melting the ice. And so it's just like it's what is it called? Earth crustal displacement, something like that. It's just getting away from the whole cow gas is causing climate to change, but that the climate always changes whether human beings are here or not. And so if you have all these volcanoes and they're melting all that ice, and we know Antarctica used to be a tropical place. Y'all know that, right? In case you don't know that, they found trees. They found trees in Antarctica that were deciduous. And I think it was last year in December they released a report. They found tropical trees also. So we know Antarctica was a tropical place. We know human beings have been there when there was no ice, when it was a tropical place. How do we know that? Because of the Perry-Reese map. So we know humans were there. We know there was civilization there. So what am I thinking? I'm thinking that, first of all, the ice is always melting. All that ice melts. It shifts the weight of the planet. The poles shift. The climate does what it always does. The earth goes this way, that way, the other way. But I think the reason John Kerry, Obama, and the prime ministers and everybody's going down there, Edgar Mitchell. First of all, Edgar, if you know him, that's the astronaut. He doesn't go anywhere unless it's dealing with some aliens and some UFOs. Otherwise, he doesn't go. I think that the volcanoes are going off, things are melting. I don't think Hitler was crazy. He was crazy as every American president. He's crazy as your prime minister if you're not in America. They all some psychopaths. But he knew there was something in Antarctica, which is why nobody on this planet has a right to go. But is it 17 nations that have rights to be there, and every human being, all the 99%, y'all not allowed to go? I think because the volcanoes are melting the ice and they finding something. Get this. I think they down there. I think they done got some bases, man. I don't know if it's UFOs and aliens, but I know we know that there are a lot of bases down in Antarctica. We know they're doing stuff down they shouldn't be doing. We know that Jordan figured out Area 51 and all the crazy stuff they had over there. So I think that the planet always changes. I think they went down there and they found something. It could be an ancient city, could be Atlantis, could be pyramids, could be some ancient technology. I don't know. Somebody lived there because we know the Perry-Reese map, and somebody built something and they're discovering it and they don't want us to know what it is, which is why we can't go there. I'm thinking about Antarctica, and I think that but look at crustal displacement. Like, I think that's important too. Like, they're down here. Let me show you this. They're down here. That's a little base behind me, because one thing that the Germans found out when they went down there is they found the ice rivers. Let me show you this. They found the ice rivers. Well, actually, it's in this picture right here behind me. Let me go back over here. So the ice rivers, like, look behind me. Let me see if I can hide some of this right there. So the water is always melting, and it's carving out massive caverns and channels underneath the ice. And so a lot of the theories was that Hitler was down there making bases, and they were using these channels that were being carved out by water. And the volcanoes that we know now are there because volcanoes hot, they melt things, and they make places where you can actually live where you're not exposed to the cold air. So they think that they've been finding what the Germans were doing down there. Perhaps there were other human beings and civilizations they're looking into. We know that they got the big base down there. It was McMurdo or somewhere where everybody live under the dome, and you don't get to know what's under the dome. Under the Dome was a good show. Y'all should watch that. I think it got canceled. They always cancel the good shows. So the other thing was, how do we know Antarctica was was a tropical place because last year they went down there and they found this. What is that? Y'all see that? That's an alien. Nah, it ain't no alien. That's a tree stump. It's a tree. It's a deciduous tree stump, and I don't think that one is from it. Actually, it's from a family of tree I have. It's called a tree fern. So we know it was tropical. So I think Antarctica is very interesting. I think we need to pay attention to Antarctica. Oh, the other thing on Antarctica, I forgot, was one other thing. We would talk about some other stuff. Was Lake Vostok. Lake Vostok, right here. So they noticed through the aerial pictures that there was a lake under the ice in Antarctica. And I think it's like 120 some miles long. Like it's a big, massive lake. And so the Russians went down there. I know the Russians, they always doing it. The Russians went down there and started drilling down in Lake Vostok. And they said they wanted to get down there and find out what's under the ice. So they drilled down under 2 miles of ice till they hit the water. So the funny thing about it is America said, well, we shouldn't be doing this because if we y'all drilled down through there, the Russians, they use, was it kerosene for the drill that they were using? And so they were drilling down under the 2 miles of ice, and America didn't want them to break through because they thought that, well, you're going to contaminate the ocean with all the kerosene. So you shouldn't be doing this, chastising Russia. I don't believe anything they say. I think there's always a lie, a hook, a crook, or something. I'm like, wait a minute. So you worried about some kerosene going in a lake under 2 miles of ice that Russia's drilling, but you just dumping oil, toxic waste, dropping bombs all over the planet, putting poison in Americans' water, fluoride and chlorine, putting pesticides in the drinking water, spraying it all over the crops, is going into the groundwater. And you mean to tell me the American government is worried about some kerosene that goes into a lake that they've never been to in Antarctica? To me, that's a lie. Something is in that lake. And then I remember after that, this is why I stopped following it, but after that, there was a report about something warm was under the lake. So the theory is that there's some warm vents under the lake that are keeping the water warm. And the other theory is that they found a city. They found Atlantis, y'all, that they might have found something under this. I'm okay with that. I think Atlantis is under there. Why do I think Atlantis is under there? Because I don't want government to have any secrets. That's why. So I'm with the Atlantis people. I think they're down there. I think they're still alive. They got a device. It keeps everything warm. I think we should be supporting them, and that the government shouldn't have any more secrets about Atlantis. But that's a delicious, interesting conspiracy theory. Y'all should look into that one. I always was wondering what was happening in Atlantis. We have to get into the news a little bit. Yeah, Crystal, I smell BS too. It doesn't pass my smell test. My nose works really well, and it doesn't pass my smell test. If you don't want the human beings to go to Atlantis, yeah, then I don't think government should have any secrets. I think the law that they passed that said that no citizens can go there, I think we need to throw that out. I think we should all hold hands and go down there and see what's in Atlantis. I ain't gonna get off the boat because it's too damn cold. It's not, y'all can't see it, but it's snowing outside. It's a lot of snow. It didn't say. Brother Chris know because he down here in the snow freezing with me. But it's cold out there. I ain't gonna get out the boat, but I think y'all need to go get out the boat and take pictures of Atlantis and bring them back. So Atlantis, I love it. It's pretty. It's pretty. So a couple things going on in the news this morning. Oh no! Before I go there, let me look at the comments. Hold on, Deborah, what you talking about? Girl, good morning, girl. You late? You late for class? We used to get in trouble all the time. We used to have to go to the principal office when we were late. Teachers some authoritarians, man. That indoctrination stuff. The location of the land masses continues to change, evolve, erupt, erode. More always have, and always will, as long as we have a molten core inside the planet. And thank you, Deborah. And I think that's how it goes. I think that's how it goes. And that's another debate that I want people to stop with. Stop with climate change. Stop fighting people. I'm not saying stop believing in it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you have a theory, like the people who know Atlantis is in Antarctica, and your theory might be true, your theory might be false. But if we don't know all the truth of it, then I don't think government should have any secrets. I think we should all hold hands and go down there and see what's in Atlantis. And I think that's how it goes. I think that's how it goes. And that's another debate that I want people to stop with. Stop with climate change. Stop fighting people. I'm not saying stop believing in it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you have a theory, like the people who know Atlantis is in Antarctica, and your theory might be true, your theory might be false. But if we don't know all the truth of it, if government has secrets, then we won't know what's true and what's false. So don't fight with people who say climate change is a hoax, and don't fight with people who say climate change is true. Just accept the fact that the climate's always changing, and human beings need to prepare for this. And the government shouldn't have any secret with, along with any agency, NOAA, HOA, POA, all the agencies, the sea agencies and the space agencies taking pictures and stuff, NASA, they shouldn't have any secrets on any of this. And if they don't have secrets, then we can find out who was right. And then if climate change was real and those other people were wrong, you can stick your tongue out and say, nanny boo boo, climate change is real, and we'll give you your street credit for it, whatever. You were right, we were wrong. And climate change is a hoax. It's just some volcanoes underneath, or it's the earth crust or whatever. Aliens with the death ray that they're spraying. Aliens are melting the ice with the death ray. But don't fight. That's all I want people to do. Hopefully don't fight. That's all I'm trying to say there. That just don't fight. So I agree with Deborah. Climate's always changing. Calamities always come. It's some pyramids and civilizations in Antarctica, and they're going to discover everything and get the death ray that the ancients used to make the megaliths. And they're not going to tell us about it. Something I'm going to look into. I want y'all to look into it. Y'all ain't curious about ancient archaeology. Some of y'all Christians who kind of got open minds. Look at this. Did you know? Because I didn't know this. Did you know when they found the Deep Sea Scrolls? Do y'all know what the Deep Sea Scrolls is? That's where they found all these scriptures, all the scriptures that came from the Bible where they deleted. Where King James is like, no, you can't have the people know about Enoch. Get that book out of here. We're not putting that in the Bible. No, ain't no aliens. Ain't no going up in no spaceships. No, you can't have my people thinking that. I'm the God. So King James got rid of it. I know. Some of my King James loving Christian people will be mad at that. But the Bible was canonized. They edited, they altered it, they did everything to it they wanted. So look at this. So the Deep Sea Scrolls. And all right, last thing I'm saying on that for my Christian friends is there's a scripture that says that God will preserve the scripture to the end of time. He didn't say King James will preserve the scripture to the end of time. He said God will. So they found all these scrolls. Anyway, Dead Sea Scrolls. And so the book of Enoch was one of them. A lot of other books were deleted. But I didn't know this. There is a book of giants. Did y'all know that? In your Bible. Go look in your Bible. Ain't no book of giants in your Bible. There is a book of giants. And it's supposed to be, I don't know anything about it. I just heard about it the other day. I have to look into it. But it was a book that explained about a giant civilization. So it went into, what do they call them? The Nephilim. The Nephilim, who when the gods came down and bred with men and make them hide this in the Bible, they called them the sons of light, called them the Nephilim. In the Sumerian scrolls, they called them the Anunnaki. I forgot all their names. They got a whole bunch of different names, but these were all the giants that walked on the earth, and that's why the flood came from God. The whole Gilgamesh, Noah, whatever's true, I don't know, but it came and it washed everything away. But it was to get the giants. They were trying to kill all the giants. There's a book of giants. I think giants were real. I kind of do. But I want to look into that. I don't know anything about that. I want to kind of pay attention to it. So I think it's interesting. What do I think about Rh negative blood and the alien relationship? I looked at that a little bit, Terry. Oh boy. I don't know. I think that we don't know. I think that there were so many humanoid, hominid type of species on this planet that we don't even know all of them and all the blood types. Like I think we like to say we do and we know. They got the pygmy people, not even the pygmy, but there were other people on the island. I forgot the name of the island. There was an island where the people were 3 feet tall and the elephants were like 4 feet or 5 feet tall, something ridiculous. But there's an island where everything was shrunk. And they found all these little people, little hobbit people. We don't know anything about who came before us. We found giant footprints all over the planet. So does it mean that, the different blood types are related to aliens? I don't know. But are aliens, so I look at it like this. People kind of, they push that and they follow that because they use it as evidence that, their aliens are real. Uh, I don't know if that's a true relationship, but I know we ain't the only thing in this universe. That's what I know. So I don't need the blood types to answer that question for me. You know, I don't think that I'm alone. I don't think I'm that special. I don't think that the earth is that special. I don't think humans are that special. I think something's been making stuff all over this planet. The other one they use is the chromosome, right, Terry? There's a chromosome. They say there's a chromosome in humans that aren't in other species. Um, and they think that might have came from aliens. I don't know, but if all the ancients all say that some genetic engineers came here a long time ago, mixed us with some monkeys or some reptiles or something, who am I to say that they're lying? Again, I don't want to fight about stuff I don't know. I'm good with that. And actually, it makes a lot of sense to me that there's a lot of stuff out there that we don't know anything about. So I don't think I'm supposed to go into aliens. I was gonna get to the news, but I'll talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. We can. It's a family, y'all. We can talk about anything we want to talk about, and then we'll get into the news if we do. If we don't, we don't. Um, well, now you're late too. So, so I was playing hooky. Oh, Deborah hit me. Why you hit me, Deborah? That you right. All right, all right. I would draw that comment. Deborah's right. I was late. I was late. I know I was late, but that's okay. I had an important meeting, important phone call I had to make. It was important to me. So yeah, the Nephilim. Nicole, you're RH. Are you? Are you an alien, Nicole? Please tell us. Let me know. Tell your people to come get us, cause the humans they acting up. I'm telling. Like the little girl in when she was in Palestine said, when I meet God, I'ma tell on the Christians or I'ma tell on America. So I'ma tell. The RH, you know, Nicole, if you got access to dial home to the people, dial home, girl. We need some help. Get them. Get them. We need some help. We need some help waking people up. Um, the hole above your head looks like a halo. Oh no, that's not a halo. Oh no, Donnell. No, hold on, wait, let me move. I gotta move. Let me move. Nope, that's not a halo. I don't want anybody getting the wrong idea. Have me on some channel talking about I think I'm some sort of an angel talking about aliens and they change the words you say to edit my speech, make me say something crazy, then I'd be in big trouble. Nah, I'd move away from the hole. Uh Made me think about some holes. Oh, your mother's RH too? I'm RH too? What? RH negative. Oh, so is my son. Y'all all aliens. I need to know this. Y'all need to let me know something. Are y'all awesome aliens? Nicole, uh-oh. Oh boy. All right. So now I'm a little scared. I'm gonna keep going because I don't want to go down. Look. If y'all are aliens, can somebody like send me a little message? Just send me an inbox and tell me how this is all gonna play out. Because I think if y'all bring the big mothership and y'all like put it over DC and Moscow, fly it just real slow. You gotta go slow because humans, this is how you scare the humans. Just fly real slow, had a fire coming out with the smoke and just fly over everybody's house. Make sure you just go over the whole planet. And once everybody sees and they realize that the government is not all powerful, that this stuff that we don't know about, that y'all aliens are all real, just to like, and everybody be scared, then everybody's gonna get on the same team. This is how we create unity. You know, this is how you get people, the all the poor people together. Is you scare the hell out of them. So do that. You got a death ray, shoot the death ray, like just fly over Washington and just go, you know, but don't kill nobody. I don't want nobody to die. But just shoot the death ray to scare the hell out of everybody. And that way, I think we'll get to a point where we can all get together. Because I think Reagan was right. I think when he said that if the aliens show up, everybody's going to stop fighting over tiddlywinks and toodly pops and spacely sprockets and trying to make money. And they'll realize that we are great, that we come from greatness, and we need to stop acting like we're fools fighting over asteroid dust. So, all right. I don't know how we got into that. Who took me down that rabbit hole? All right. So, so something I got introduced to the other day. I forgot who introduced me. It's called Ubuntu. The website is ubuntuplanet.org. If you go to UMBUNTU planet.org, and the funny thing is they got a Facebook too. I went out to the Facebook And a lot of y'all, I saw my friends there. Nobody told me about it till just now. So it's another solution. I like solutions. It's a group of people who are putting together solutions um, to get us out of this mess, right? And I think it started over in Africa with his name Tellinger. Michael, is it Michael Tellinger? I forgot his name. So what he's doing is he's putting together communities of people who are sufficient, right? Like they're, I don't know if they're off grid or on grid, but the point is they're people who work together. They build up their community. Everyone puts in, I think it's like 3 hours a day, and that's it. 3 hours a day, and then they go live their lives. They spend time with their families. They go do whatever else. They don't go collect asteroid dust and fight over wealth. Um, and that's all they do. And they literally live their lives all day long doing what they want to do. So it's interesting. There's a video I'll post. It's a good video introducing you to the Ubuntu community. There's Ubuntu USA. There's one in Canada. There's a big one in Africa. There are other places, and it's based on this concept of communities working together, not based in monetary, buying crap we don't need, but just working together. And it infects the communities around it, because now that you're growing tomatoes, the tomatoes are cheaper. So the next community over, they're not going to go to the grocery store to buy the tomatoes. They're going to get them from you because you grow a lot more than what you need. And you're basically giving them away, or for barter, or for a very low cost. And so the community next to you, they swap, away from a currency debt-based model to that. Now they have an interesting setup in terms of like a business structure where they actually make money. And I think they have to do that to get away with it in a society like this. But it's interesting. So I'd recommend y'all check it out and tell me what you think. But I think being a part of these communities are important. Solutions are important. It might be an interesting retirement for you to retire to a town like that that's not based in fighting over money. They talk about the kids in these communities, how the kids are so much smarter, how they love education. They can't read enough. They can't do enough on that front, because we go back to raising kids the way we're supposed to, not indoctrinating them and forcing math, science, English, specific things down their throat so they can go get jobs and work for big corporations. So that's something interesting to look at. The other thing, another thing about telling the truth, I saw, and this was Antarctica too. Let me show you this. Nope, that's not it. Hold on. There was a no, I don't want to go there. I want to go there. I'm gonna get away from Antarctica for a minute. So look at this. There is an act in the Senate being sponsored by one of your favorite politicians, by the name of Bernie Sanders, and there's another one. And what this act is in the Senate is to force a vote to get America to stop supporting Saudi Arabia in Yemen. Sounds interesting. Sounds like something we need to pay attention to. I don't have a whole lot of the details on it. It looks like it was last week that they put it forward in the Senate. But the whole point is to make an attempt to get America to stop bombing, we're sending troops, we're sending money, we're supporting them, we give them intelligence that started under Obama and now it's continued under Trump. So it's interesting. I don't trust it. Because I don't believe the politicians. I don't think they're telling the truth. I don't think that you go from being a psychopath yesterday to being normal today. I don't know anybody who can bomb children and then have empathy for children the next day. You need that help or you don't need that help. So I'm not sure that this will amount to anything. I kind of doubt Congress would actually vote for it, because they're perfectly okay with bombing children. It's how they make their money. Their party will lose a lot of money if they vote for a bill to stop supporting Saudi Arabia and Yemen. But I think it's something that we have to look at, because if they actually get the bill passed through the Senate, then people need to start calling congressmen. I don't know that politicians are the way out of anything other than maybe a cookie jar or something. I don't think they make a lot of their own decisions, but I think the masses can tend to force them down certain paths. Because of what's happening in Yemen. It's important that when this stuff comes up, we have to jump on it and run with it. I'm feeling cold, y'all. Hold on, I'm gonna jump. I gotta jump somewhere else. It's a little cold. I'm gonna jump over here to the jungle. These are the trees they found in Antarctica. These are the, or the family of plants. They're the tree ferns. This is what Antarctica used to look like. It used to be just a nice, beautiful, tropical place. I'm looking a little red, so I got to shift my light a little bit. Hold on. Why am I so red? I don't want to be red today. I want to be green. Oh, nope, nope. I'm going purple. I'm changing my colors. Hold on. I know. You can just change your colors now. This is how this works. Nope. I went invisible. Where is my color at? That's a little better. All right, we'll do that. So we want to pay attention to that. Kind of like the group living in the tropics somewhere, the leader is the Messiah. Yeah, Terry, it's like that. Like there are a lot of off-grid communities. Some become cults you got to be careful of. I know a few friends who joined these off-grid communities. It didn't go well. You know, it's all about having like a good setup of rules of how things work. But to be honest with you, if you're telling me that I work 3 hours a day and I don't have to drink the poison Kool-Aid, you probably got me. If 3 hours a day I'm gonna be a slave versus 40 hours a week, it's not a hard decision for me. Now when the Kool-Aid punch comes around, the old Jim Jones thing, I'm not drinking that. But it's interesting the way they have it set up is that it's infectious, community to community to community. So I kind of like it. I think I joined up to their newsletter list. It kind of reminds me of the Zeitgeist movement, but the thing we don't just need to talk about it. We need to have communities that are actually doing it. So I know there's one in my state, and so I'm gonna look at the coordinator for my state and talk to her and try to find out, what they're doing and how I can support them. And then I'm RH. I hear they've been tracking us since birth. Oh yeah, so you getting into the X-Files and Mulder. You're getting into them tracking. Yeah, it might make sense. Have you ever been abducted, Donnell? How about you tell us that? Have you ever been abducted? That's the question I want to know. Yeah, Terry, they're supposedly completely self-sufficient communities where they grow their own food, they have their water. I believe that they have their power. It's empowering mainly because if you have a strong local community, devastation can happen somewhere else in the world and you're not based on them, so you don't have to worry about it. And that's why having strong communities is so important, self-sufficient communities, because if you have that, when a collapse happens in the neighborhood next to you, you're okay. When the power gets shut off like it did in Puerto Rico, you're okay. You're sustainable, you're local, but not only that, you can help out the community next to you. But when we have a big, massive city or country that's based on the same power grid, same water, same government, same legal system, same everything, when that gets hit, it's a single point of failure, and with same food system, it means that everything gets shut down, and it means really bad things happen. People run in the streets to kill you for food, water. Same thing that happened in Katrina, same thing that happens all over. People, when they don't have food and water, they become very dangerous things. So, the more of these sustainable communities we have, certainly the better. So that's why I like them. So again, it's Ubuntu. What is it? The name of the website? UbuntuPlanet.org. So take a peek at them. O plus, guess I'm safe then. That's good. Everybody knows their blood types. I don't know my blood type. Y'all smarter than me. I don't. But then again, I don't have a doctor. I don't go to the doctor. Don't let them take my blood. Don't let them put no needles in me. I don't take none of their drugs. I just drink my smoothie, drink my coffee. And that tends to, smoothie a day will keep the doctor away. And that tends to do it for whatever my genetics are or my blood type. And that's why I'm not a big believer in all this healthcare nonsense. I don't even like how they call it. They call it healthcare. I don't think it's healthcare, it's disease care anyway. I just like to call it, if people dying, don't let them die. That's how I think we fix it. If we had a law that wasn't called the Health Care Act or the Romney Act, Obama Act, Trump Act, all these little silly names they give them, if it was just a law that said don't let people die. And the funny thing is, we don't need a law that says that because we never did that. Who Who lets anybody die? There are very few psychopaths on this planet that if they see somebody dying, they're just going to keep walking. Now, government's that way because they are some psychopaths. But all human beings were born with a sense of right or wrong. You see somebody who needs help, 9 out of 10 people are going to go help them. So we really don't need a law that says don't let people die. It's just what you do. You don't let people die. Group responsibility for existence. Yeah, Terry. And that's when we have, responsibility for each other, the planet works the way it's supposed to. When we're too busy acquiring wealth because we got to pay a mortgage and pay for a car and buy food and buy water and this whole currency based system, um, people drop the responsibility part and they say, oh, it's up to government to take care of those people, let them write a law and welfare and whatever, that's for government. When we outsourced caring for our neighbors, when we outsourced our humanity, having a responsibility for each other, that really is where we failed. That's when like the brother told me, he said when we got rid of when we stopped making porches on the front and started putting patios on the back of the house, that's where we lost it. And this is where we started to lose our communities because we stopped talking. You didn't have a little crazy lady on the old grandma on the front yelling at people, but we outsourced our humanity to psychopaths. Like, really think about that. We took our common sense that was handed down to us, ancestor after ancestor after ancestor, and finally to us, and we said, you know what? They're all just that's too much. Let's let government do all of it. We need laws to make humanity do what it's supposed to do, and we outsourced it to them. They thought they could put it on a sheet of paper better than your grandmother taught you to take care of people. And now people are dying. Now wars are going off everywhere. Where we have people who don't look after their neighbor because they figure it's the government's job to do it. We don't go shovel the neighbor's driveway or help them cut their grass or whatever. Oh, because it's lawn care companies. Because y'all, you're racist. There's some Mexicans that's going to do it. But we outsourced it. We outsourced our humanity. And so I kind of like the sense of that rebuilding the community and working together to bring it back, but the other thing I think about these communities though, is so what does that do for like technology and moving forward? I don't think it does anything for it. I think we actually slowed the progression of technology down with money. And it's the complete opposite of what other folks will say. Oh, well, human beings are driven by greed and warfare. And when we had greed and warfare, that's when we started making all these technological advancements. That's a lie. We've been making technological advancements since we've existed, starting with the wheel, fire, everything else, houses. We've always did things because we had to. We don't need war to drive technology. We don't need a government or jobs or cubicle cotton picking plantation setups to get people to drive forward technology. We do it because it's what we've always done. It's like I still write software. I still do a lot of the development stuff that I used to, even though I don't get paid to do it, because I like to do it. Human beings like to create things. We're creators. Like if you actually have a job where you actually make something, those people who work with their hands are actually happier than people who don't. People who sit in cubicles and work on computers. And why is it? And they tend to have less money. It's because they actually create something. I believe we get endorphin responses. We have a reward system that's based on creating something. And we actually create it. It makes you feel good. It gives you a sense of accomplishment, whether you work on a farm or whatever. A friend of mine cleans houses. And I think, where's their reward there? You go into a place and it's a mess and you clean it up and then it's clean. It makes you feel good. You did something. So I think those are more attached to what we are, but we do that. We don't have to be forced to do that for money. We don't have to be forced to do that or we don't pay a mortgage and get thrown out of our houses. We've always done that. This whole money thing is an experiment. Keep that in mind. The majority of time we've been on this planet, we did not have money. Money is a recent experiment that I think we screwed up, and I think it should probably go away. kind of back to the belief that if you hear the people's voices, kind of back to the belief that if you hear the people's voices, I'm not sure where you're going with that one, Terry. My grandmother don't know what it's like to be neighbors in a community. Exactly. Oh no, no. Oh, my grandchildren don't know what it's like to be. I'm bad. My eyes are horrible, y'all. My grandchildren don't know what it's like to be neighbors in a community. Yeah, and that's. I think we've given up. A lot of people have given up on teaching that community living. It's another reason why I like the Ubuntu movement, the Zeitgeist movement. Move to a neighborhood that's neighborly. They're actually designing communities like that now, where the houses are all based in a circle, and in the center is like a community garden or community center or something, and everybody goes there and spends time to get to know your neighbors. Don't be one of these people who just like lives in a bubble and doesn't talk to your neighbors. We survive by each other. We don't survive by just our relatives. They took control with lies and deceit. Um, they know they're doing it. That's what censorship is about. Yes, brother Travis, you know that well. That's what they do. They always lie to us. They don't let us know the truth. They've taken control of everything because we've outside. Basically, I don't know that we've outsourced just humanity. I mean, we've outsourced common sense. We've outsourced everything to government. And this is why I think people are so locked in this belief that we can't do anything without it. And that's how they gain more and more and more and more power. But I think that's also how we end civilization. I think if we keep going this route of giving government more and more power, letting people make these ridiculous arguments that we actually need government, it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and people are going to outsource more and more and more to it. And we're going to get to a place where we have absolutely no ability to take back control of the things they fail at. Like, what do they do good? Somebody answer that for me. One of my government friends, what do they actually do well? They failed at the war on drugs massively. They're failing at the war on cancer massively. The war on terror just made more terrorists. They fail at everything they do. They fail at healthcare. Seems like every law they make, they screw up. They broke the police system. Like, I know a lot of y'all blame the police. I don't blame the police. The police don't write the laws. They're doing a job to pay a mortgage, and it doesn't mean that a lot of them are innocent, but most police officers are good people. They go in, they're just us. They go in to serve a purpose, to do a job. But they don't write the laws. They don't determine when they go in the community. It's the politicians that do that. And so I think the politicians, they break everything they touch. They're not smart people. I know this is going to get bad. I don't know where this one's going. But as bad as all of that is, like I'm calling this, cold planets always warm up. They always warm up. Like ice hearts, they always eventually melt. Everything goes and works, I think, in these pendulum. The pendulum swings hard that way, it's going to swing all the way back. That's why I say you can't let this stuff drive you crazy. Like, we are in a bad spot, but we'll always get out of that spot. How do I know that? We always have gotten out of that spot. So theoretically, based on history, we'll get out of this spot too. So you can't let it drive you crazy, but you keep going, you keep looking back at the past, at what our ancestors did that was good, and what we're doing today that doesn't work, that's not good. And you go back to doing that. And I think that's why we hand down the stories we do and the lessons we do generation to generation to generation. Because if you do that, then each generation gets smarter and smarter and smarter. But we might be the first generation that stopped doing that. And that's why we're lost in this ridiculous time where government's running everything, breaking everything. Also, the loss of the small schools and shipping, on shipping the children to different town to go to school, played a part in the loss and feeling of the community. I agree with you, Terry, and I think the studies that I've looked at say the same thing too, right? When kids go to these big, massive schools, they're less in touch with obviously their community because they're not going to school with the kids in the neighborhood than the others. When you take kids and you break them up into classrooms for specific learning, that I mean, we're not the critical thinkers we used to be. Back when we used to have the little schoolhouses where you would have 10 kids and they were all different ages, they were mostly related. These were the kids who played together in the town and they learned together in the school. They helped each other. They learned a lot of the same lessons. Like I don't know that we would do better if we went back to all age kids going in the same classrooms, but I'm willing to try. We're not as smart as we used to be. Um, there used to be a time where we all were in depth at critical thought, but because I think we had all these different schoolhouses and a bunch of different teachers that taught a lot of different ways, um, and so I think we have to go back to trying to try something new and see if it works. And that was part of why at the whole election thing, I wasn't upset when Obama won because he seemed like he was something new. I wasn't upset when Trump won. He seemed like he was something new. I didn't vote for either one of them, but sometimes I think you just have to try something new. Otherwise, we just get locked in the same spot. Ava's a maker. All right, Ava, I appreciate you doing your bit for humanity and continue to make things. It's just it's so much more rewarding. I make things all the time too, and it makes you feel good. We shouldn't have to see all of our neighbors. Some of them need to be shunned. Yeah, well, I think we do have bad neighbors. Um, but I think how we help them is we get our lives right. We get our communities back together. And if they really want to still stay in a little ignorant bubble where they got a lot of anger and hatred or whatever, then they'll eventually fall out of the community. Like, I think about how our communities, we used to need each other, right? Like you couldn't be a recluse or an angry, foul person because if the lawnmower broke, you needed to go to the lawnmower guy to fix it. If you were pissed off with the lawnmower guy, the one who worked on the lawnmowers, you didn't cuss him out and call him all kind of names. You didn't fight with him over politicians because you needed it. The person who put the windows on the house, there are only two or three of them, and then the two adjoining towns. You didn't do things to really anger them because we were a community. You didn't piss off your farmer because the farmer was growing your food. So I think there were limits to what level of ignorance that we had when we're a community. So I totally agree that, becoming a community again where we need each other, it's important to sustainability because when we need each other and we don't have Amazon, Jeff Bezos, and the internet to go buy stuff, we actually get to know the people who are local. We get to know the shopkeepers and the people who make things. There's always limits to how far you'll go. You won't go to the extreme to cussing somebody out online or just, making discussions personal because you need those people. And I think when we need each other, we're certainly better behaved. Um, but I think that's how you turn these cold hearts warm, brother Travis. I think that's, when they need to work together with the community again, I think they go back to being human beings. Um, Nicole was talking about deregulating. Yeah, I'm a deregulator. I guess the way but when I hear deregulation, you know what I think about? I think about laws. We have too many laws. We have way too many laws. There's no way we can shrink the government with all these laws. I think we need to insource. I think we need to delete probably 99% of all the laws on the book. That actually by default will fix the police officers. Let the police go back to being police. Um, I think it'll fix us because then we can go back to being free or free-ish as much as possible, where people aren't, they can start a business without 20 million licenses to do something, where the government just tries to tap into their creative work, where they can feed themselves. If we keep money around, they can earn a living, they can grow their cannabis or hemp or whatever they want to do. We let people actually go back to being able to survive. Because the way I view that, Nicole, is all of the laws, all the regulating laws, what they did is they outlawed survival. That's how you take a species and you get, or a society, and you get them to do things that you want them to do. You outlaw their ability to survive. And when you outlaw their survival, they have no other choice but to work in a cubicle. They have no other choice but to live the way you tell them to live. And if people can't if they need to do what this 0.01% says to survive, then people are going to have trouble surviving. And when people have trouble surviving because there's not enough to go around, they become violent. They steal, they kill, they murder, they do things, because when those survival genetics kick in, that warrior gene stuff, that's when you get really, really bad people. So yeah, Nicole, I agree with you. I am a big deregulator in the sense that, but not because when you say deregulation, I think people think just corporations. We need to deregulate things for the corporations. No, I don't believe that. I think we need to deregulate our society. We broke our society. All of these laws broke it. Crush the opposition. The do that good. Oh, they do that good. Yeah, I think we need to stop crushing our opposition. I think maybe, Travis, we learn that we actually don't have opposition, that we are all a collective, whether we want to be or not. We all survive by each other, whether we want to or not. You still have people who are just lost in these, racial, religious division things, but we're a collective. And we don't have to act like we're a collective, but we are a collective. And we will fail if we aren't smart enough to go back to acting like we're a collective and not divide it up on silly ideas. Says no, they aren't failing. They don't want to succeed. Yeah, Terry, good point. Maybe they aren't failing. I sometimes misspeak. The system was designed this way. I think that's what you're getting to, is that the system was designed to fail. They knew it was always going to fail. They knew it was unsustainable. They knew the currency was going to collapse, and they knew the Great Depression was going to come about, or they caused the Great Depression to come about. And that's how they make money. And we sit back just dumb as a bag of bricks and, oh, well, it's going to fall apart, so we're going to fix it for you. And we just sit back and say, okay, fix it for us. Thank you, guys. We appreciate the 1%. You're always trying to murder us and send us to war and get our children killed and kill other people's children and all of this dumbness. But yeah, you're going to save us. Please go save us. Like, that goes back to the gun control. Like, oh, you're the most violent people on the planet. All you do is murder people all day long. But damn it, keep our school kids safe. Just pass them, just magically find some love and warmness in your heart and make our society safer, by taking the guns. And I'm still on that same point. I am not for, and like I said before, I don't believe in guns and I don't believe in violence. I believe in force, protecting yourself, but not in violence. And most people I know who own guns are not violent people. They're good people, and they've never used their guns on anything but a shooting range. So I don't think that we should touch their guns, especially not in a time where the people don't control their government. That's my mainstay. If we controlled our government, I don't know. Maybe it's a discussion. Y'all get together, talk about gun control. I don't want to be in the discussion because I don't care to be. But if we controlled our government, maybe you could do it in a safe way. But we don't control our government. Like, do you know how crazy it is in my mind? And I got a big head, a lot of stuff happening up there. But you know how crazy it is in my mind to actually take the guns from poor people, while all the wealthy people got a lot of guns. They run the government, and we can't even write laws to stop whatever they want to do. They could press a button and turn slavery back on, right? And haven't they already? I mean, you look at all the kids in the prison system. That's something I haven't talked about in a long time because it hurts my heart, man. I can't. I'll fall into depression if I talk about the prison system too much, because we're taking all of these kids that aren't even 26 years old yet. They don't even have fully formed frontal lobes. And we put them in cages and we make them slaves. Black, white, Chinese, Asian, Hispanic, every religion, Muslim, across the board, poor kids. That's what they all have in common. They don't have billionaire parents. You know, so what percentages of any of those selections that y'all want to talk about, I don't care about. I care about the fact that if we only took one child that was 19 who did something dumb and put them back in slavery, which is what prison is, I'd have a problem with it. Kids do dumb things. Kids just, that's what they're supposed to do. Man, I could tell you stories. The dumb things I've done as a child. Hold on, let me go back to Antarctica. This is a pretty picture. The dumb things I did as a child, oh my gosh. It wasn't just jumping ramps and silly stuff. You know, we had in I want to say it was middle school, elementary. We had open butt day. Y'all know what? I'm tell you what open butt day was. Open butt day was all the kids ran around in elementary school and grabbed each other's butt. No, it was not a teacher sponsored holiday. It was not, the principals didn't know about it. You just had a whole bunch of dumb kids who all got together and say, let's go grab everybody's butt. And everybody started, the girls were grabbing the boys were grabbing the girls. And I'm not saying it's something that we should do. I'm not saying that it's a good idea. I'm saying kids are dumb. Kids are dumb because they're supposed to be dumb. They don't have frontal lobes yet. And to me, there's no difference in a kid that's, what was he, like 6 years old, where the little boy kissed a little girl and they said it was he was a sexual predator at 6 years freaking old. I think you're dumb. That kid wasn't dumb. That kid was exploring his silliness as a kid and just doing silly stuff. You're dumb as an adult for wanting to label this child a sexual predator at the age of 6 or 7 because he kissed a girl. I think, kids are supposed to be dumb. That's who they are. You're not supposed to put them in prison for being dumb. They done joined up with some group. They grew up in a impoverished community, and the white nationalist group came by and said, listen, we're going to help you. We're going to love you. Dad wasn't in your life. Mom wasn't in your life. You've been kicked around and beat around, but you know what? We're going to be a brotherhood. We're going to love you. We're going to give you food. You can ride around with us. We'll protect you. We'll make you safe. I'd be a white nationalist too. I would. I'm just going to tell the truth the way it is. Because if I didn't get love in my life and you showed up and you gave me some love, I'm joining. Because love is it's a necessity. And if I haven't gotten love my whole life living in a trailer park, damn it, and I'm going to carry this flag, wear a Klan hat, and we're going to be a brotherhood, and we're supposed to love each other. We're going to look out for each other. Hell yeah. That's family. I've been looking for that my whole life. I would join the Klan. Hell yeah, I would. But if you came up to me as a black person and you say, you know what? I'm sorry that you were in the Klan and you shouldn't be because it's a bad group. I'm a nice guy. Let's go have a beer. Let's drink some coffee. Let's get our kids together and play soccer. We're just regular people. We're not evil. They're telling you that we're monkeys and stuff, but we're not. We're just people. The same way it happened with the brother, I forgot who was in the Klan, who met the pastor, the black pastor, and they had jokes together, and that was like a 10-year time where the pastor had all these jokes for him. Eventually he left the Klan. You love hate out of people. You don't create your own hate. Like I was in a good conversation with someone yesterday. I don't know where this is going, y'all. I think we're just having a conversation, y'all. We're just talking. And she was talking about the black nationalists. So apparently there's a group of people who want to go and make a black nation in America. They want to get all the black people together, live in a black area. But first of all, before I say that, let me say this. So, but the same token, if I grew up in the ghetto and mom was working 3 jobs, she wasn't around, and dad wasn't around, and all of a sudden, again, and I'm getting beat up every day just trying to walk to school, and the Bloods of the Crips come up to say, to me, listen, we're going to stop beating you up if you join up with us. We're going to make you safe. We're going to be brothers. We're going to be a family. We're going to make sure that the Crips don't mess with you. All you got to do is be a Blood. We'll jump you in. We'll make sure you'll stay safe, and we'll love you. Hell yeah, I'd join up. I'd join up tomorrow. Why? Because you're a child and children do dumb things. We don't think about, oh, you're all going to do crimes and I'm going to go to prison, or the Klan is a terrorist group. The FBI is going to be. You don't think about that stuff. So to take a child that's 20 years old that's doing dumb stuff. Now, mind you, as long as it's not violent. Now, you start doing violent stuff, you know, you do have to be, we got to protect the community from you. But I think jail for violent people who are under 26 should not be jail for violent people who are over 26. People who have frontal lobes who decide to be violent, their care has to be very different than the care for people, children who are under 26, who sell some drugs and get in a fight or something. So the sick thing about the whole Black Nation thing. And first of all, before I say too much on it, I'll say that I get though the love behind white nationalism, and I get the love behind Black nationalism, because it's that need for a group, it's that need for love that sends people into these groups. But the problem I have with it is you're setting up a group based on race. And if you set up a group based on race, eventually you're going to have some racism, things that are going to just fall out your mouth. You don't have a choice. And the other funny thing about it, so I'm not interested in any dividing up of groups, but I'm not going to tell you what you should do, right? If you want to go live in a group of people that are all white or something, go do that. You know, God bless you. You know, I don't have, as long as you're not violent, I think you should be able to self-determine, go for it. I support that. That's your right to do that. If you want to go live in a group with all Black people, go do that too. You know, you sit around, y'all, that's what y'all want to do, you know. I don't know what to do. I have some racist thoughts sometimes, y'all. I do. They're not racist. They're perceptionist, right? Wasn't it who's a comedian that said that? He said sometimes we confuse racism with perceptionism. I have perceptionism issues because I was raised in America, and so I see the Black nationalist group. They all. Oh, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. No, not gonna say it. It's perceptionist. I'm not gonna say it. All right. So, but if that's what y'all want to do, go do that. But the problem is, number one, you can't do it because we don't own our government. So you can't make a little white nation group, and you can't make a Black nation group all by your little lonely selves, because we don't control our government. And the only land that's not owned by the government is owned by the Native Americans. And that land's not even owned by them, because anytime the government wants to put a pipeline through it or go through and throw a bunch of them in prison, they do anything they want to the Native Americans. So the idea that you're going to go set up a little piece of land with the Native Americans next to them or on some land somewhere, you don't control the government. It's still their land. They can put you in prison anytime they want for anything they want, any way they want. So if you want to have your group, though, what you have to do, your Black nationalists and white nationalists, is you got to work together. That's how you get your government back. The two of y'all groups come together and say, you know what, we hate each other. We don't want to live around each other. But if y'all come together, you have the numbers to change your government to allow for people to set up little communes and nations for silly stuff like solar radiation separation, so you can have that. But you're not going to have that unless you come together. And I think it's silly anyway, because like I said, my joke with that is, you know, so let's say we went that route. Say we all came together. Everybody got together. We took our government back. Our government actually listened to us. And after we all wrote the laws and everybody can live anywhere they want and live how you want, you don't need money. Robots gonna grow everything for you. You get this little group go and they make the little white nationalist nation, and you get the little silly group on the other side, Black people, to go make the little Black nation. I'm gonna be in the middle because I think the majority, first of all, ain't that special. I'm not gonna say stupid. I say special. The majority will be moderate, so the vast majority of the United States will just be all a bunch of moderates, big melting pot, cultural diversity, learning from each other, religions and people, and looking at the ancients and breeding in our genetics, sharing our genetics, so sickle cell anemia goes away for this type of people, and cardiovascular disease goes away for that, because genetics do what they do. Certain races and ethnicities solve these problems, others didn't, which is why the healthiest animals on the planet, the healthiest dogs, wolves, are the mutts, the ones that are select breeds, the little races of dogs. They're very sickly and they all got ailments because they don't share the genetics. I think most people actually read books and they understand that, and when you mix races and ethnicities, you make healthier children. I think the majority of America would be that way. But the funny thing is, in 1,000 years, we'd all look like Native Americans anyway, because the sun will change our skin, the sun will change our hair, the sun will change all of these things about us, and we all end up look like Native Americans anyway. But it'll be funny though, because think about it. So in 1,000 years, you got the white nationalist nation over here, and they got their own little thing, and the black nationalist nation over there, and they're still just we're black people, and they all look like Native Americans. I think that'd be the funniest thing on the planet, because then they would need different things to divide themselves on. Well, we the blue-eyed people, and then eventually their eye color changes too. Well, we the green-eyed people, and then that changes too. We the big feet people. We Bigfoot nation. They're walking in the same dirt we are, and eventually their feet change. Everybody's feet the same size. Anyway, I don't know. I'm just, let me see what y'all are talking about. I don't know who sent me down that rabbit hole. Ava, what you talking about? Prison labor was used to put out California fires. Oh yeah, they get paid something like $1 a day. Seems like slave labor to me. It is, Ava, and I got so much mixed thoughts on that. Like, because think about it like this: like, we are trapped in this silly, ignorant time that we live, where we put children under 26 in prison, and we use them for slave labor. But if I were caught, if I grew up in a poor white or black family, Asian family, whatever, Hispanic, and I got trapped into this prison system at 16 or 17 because I'm just trying to survive and sell drugs to buy food, and if I were trapped in a cage 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, smaller than the cage than what they put monkeys in a zoo, I would do anything to get out. If you want me to pick cotton, I'm gonna go pick cotton, Ava. If you want me to go put out fires, I would do anything to feel the sun on my skin again. Psychologically, I'd be going crazy that my feet weren't in grass. I would do anything to probably feel that again. So while it is slave labor, and I think it's an atrocity we have to speak on, I think about the psychological stability of helping prisons until we all grow up and we end this nonsense of putting children in prison, putting people who didn't break a constitutional law in prison, which the vast majority, over 90% of prisons, they're all just people who just did something constitutional and they got thrown in prison. Letting them out probably helps the prison culture. It probably makes it psychologically more sustainable. And so even when these people get out, they at least have some brace of humanity. So it sickens me that they use them to do violent, putting out fires and stuff. But if it was a volunteer thing, I think those things help the prison system, the children who were forced into slavery, unconstitutionally. I think it helps them more than it hurts. And I think it's good for people to see that and realize that they are slaves. I think it's important for me. Every day I'm driving to work, I call it a slave ship. It's a sheriff's bus. I call it a slave ship. It drives right past me, and I know that there's slaves in it, and they're going off to work on plantations like the Clinton plantation, right? The Clintons had their slaves who were actually taking care of the grounds, and convict leasing. So I have mixed opinions on that, but I think more importantly, Ava, we focus on ending it. I think we call it what it is. We call it slavery. We don't play with it, because the Democrats and Republicans, they like to play with it, and they like to pretend that it's helping our society, and it's not. It's just taking young people and making slaves out of them. We know we can fix them so they're not fighting with police. We know we can fix them so they don't have to do dastardly things to survive. We know we can deregulate things so they can go sell lemonade on their lawn to make money, cut grass, rake leaves for the neighbors, make money, all the things we used to do, so they could go buy the things they wanted, so they don't have to steal from the shop makers. We can fix our society. We just got to be smart enough to and stop fighting with each other. My friend calls kids dimple lunatics. They are kids, and the crazier the better. I love crazy kids, especially little toddlers. Kids are the funniest thing on the planet. The idea that we're killing them or bombing them, and like, I don't get the mindset of people who are okay with this. I don't get the mindset of people who look at poor kids and look at them like they're adults and expect them to process our sick society like they're adults. They're not. Um, yeah, brother Joel, same with gangs. I view those groups, gangs, white nationalism, black nationalism, the Black Panthers, the Ku Klux Klan. It's all the same thing. You know, you can hate people or you can listen to people and fix the problem. I'm not interested in hating people. You know, I'm not interested in looking down on people. I'm interested in the root cause. Like, how did you get this way? And what can we do to fix it? And they say, well, the government, it always starts with government. That's how it goes, Joel. When you talk to somebody, so, well, okay, so you're a psychopath. How did you become a psychopath? They won't tell you, but the neuroscience will tell you. Well, the government, they enforce, planned obsolescence and scarcity, and it makes people go crazy because they can't survive. They can't start a business. They got to do things, break laws, make them psychopaths. It always starts with the government. It's always government. Which is why we got to take our government back. Restore the republic. Tiny homes are the new trailers. Yeah, they are. And I want a tiny home, Mary. I want a tiny home. I want a tiny cabin, a tiny cob house. I'm gonna do everything I can, and I do every day to try to get out of slavery, supporting slavery. I everything I can. I was this morning. I was crushing up my coffee beans. I was crushing up my coffee beans. I'm not at my studio. I'm at home. And so I was crushing up my coffee beans I took two bowls, put them together, put the coffee grinds in the middle because I didn't have my coffee grinder. And instead of just doing the Western thing and going out buying a coffee grinder from Walmart, it's kind of hard to do that because it's snowing outside. Or getting Jeff Bezos to deliver it to me. I just took two bowls, put them together like the old pummel thing, and I started crushing it. And that's what made my cup of coffee this morning. It was not made on slave labor. It was made on human labor, my labor. Um, I sure do know that, Mary, I was always the one with the cooties. Yeah, kids got cooties. In Connecticut, they consider you an adult at 15. Oh man, that's just crazy. I am so sorry to hear that, Deborah. That's nuts. Adult after 15, after your first offense, you're not getting much slack here. It's so strange. It's not even strange. It's just sick. It's just sick. It's sick, and that's why when they try to convince me, the Democrats and Republican people, the people who are like really locked in that mindset, and they try to convince me that this is okay and this is normal, and a new person that they're going to put in for the president or the congressman or something is going to help things. They're who did this, right? They did this. I can't see, like, if here's an example: the Crips and the Bloods destabilize the local community, a neighborhood, shooting everybody up, selling drugs or whatever. If I want to fix the drug problem, I'm not going to go to the Bloods and the Crips, and so I can't imagine how these political parties they are paid for by slavery, right? All of these industries work together for cage slavery, which is the people who are in the prisons, and forced labor slavery, which is all the rest of us who have to work and pay taxes, and we can't buy land and own the land. We got to keep paying for stuff, so we got to keep working. So the people, and then they get money from those industries. So the very people who you're hiring to help slavery end are the very people who need slavery to keep a job. And it's just it's a ridiculous idea that the Democrats or the Republicans are going to do anything to fix any of it. Crystal said my son is half black. Well, that's good, Crystal. That means that he has fixes. He has more genetic fixes for ailments than kids who aren't. So he's healthier than all the other kids. So I always say, the interracial people, y'all got to breed us out and make sure the kids are healthier. We have less disease because now the kids are mutts. They have more genetics. Healthcare isn't such a big issue because now your body has all the learned genes from marching all over this planet, and it just makes a whole lot of sense. But if you want to stay and you want your kids to stay the color that you are, and that's fine too. I'm okay with that too. I just think more people, and the kids, they're not as ignorant as my generation was. They're more open to those things, and I think it's important, and I think it helps us. It's like when I hear brother Will talk, Bill Bunting. When I hear brother Bill talk, it feels good to, people, they stereotype him. They look at him, in the back of their mind, he's just some redneck. What does he know? And blah, 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 blah. And white privilege and white guilt and all this dumb stuff that comes out of their mouth. What does he know? And then you get to that point in the story where you realize he has black grandchildren. And of course, like every granddaddy, he loves them to death, you know. And the person who's actually saying white guilt and white privilege, you don't know nothing about the black community, you can't help nothing. They don't even have kids, let alone grandkids. Wasn't alive but this long. And I'm not mad at that person either, because usually it's just young kids who are saying it. And this is why, you know, old folks used to have wisdom to look at people in their 20s, young 20s or whatever, teens, and you know that these aren't original thoughts that they have. You know there was an ignorant adult that gave it to them. And so, you know, don't square off against that kid when they say these silly things, because you know it's not their thought. Some retarded adult that's just trying to make money selling books and political careers, they pass these divisive words down because they know they can build up a lot of destabilization and get somebody to follow them based on that emotional anger by doing what the Bloods and the Crips do when they say the white people did it to us, the cops did it to us. You know, they do what the white nationalists do when they say the black people, the Hispanics, or the minorities, that's why you're poor. They did it to you, you know. And you got the politicians who do the same thing. They point and say, those people did this to you. It's the same racism. It's just reverse, and it's just dumb and ignorant. But don't blame the young people. You know, don't blame the young people. And I think the person I was talking to about this, the Black Nation group, you know, they're young people. They don't know. They don't understand. They haven't been alive long enough and have the experience. They just have selective information that gets them down these silly paths. You know, this is why it's like I said, I just think we have to stop blaming kids for stuff. I think that we're smarter than this. Kathy said, damn it, Gerard, just say stupid or perhaps ignorant. It's a better choice. Just stop tiptoeing around things. Well, Kathy, you know me. I do tiptoe, but I tiptoe around things, certain words, because I don't want to create anger in other people. My goal, to me, the ends justify the means. I don't say things to piss people off. I don't want to say things to anger people. I want to say things to people in a way that makes them want to listen, right? I want them to listen to you because Kathy, you're always dropping just amazing wisdom. I don't know, you've been studying this stuff for a long time. You have a lot of good information and facts but I want people to listen. And when you talk to somebody and they feel like you don't respect them, or you're saying words that really piss them off, they don't listen. They square off. They become others and they want to fight whatever you're saying. And it's like with the president, same thing that's happening right now. The last president, people decided they hated him, and so everything he said, whether it was good or bad, they hated it. Current president, no matter what he says, everybody, you know, they've already decided they hate him. And anytime he says something that's smart, that's good in a direction we need to go, they hate it. And it's just redamn ridiculous. Like, what is it Trump is doing? He's doing something good, yo. What is he doing? I was looking at the other day. He's defunding, or he's trying to defund the what is the democracy fund thing where the global democracy group, I forgot, it's like it's a group that uses war to push democracy around the world that the neocons love. And instead of them saying that's a good thing, you know, see, here's the problem. If the side that hates Trump says, wow, war is bad, and the fact that he's going to defund this I forgot the name of the group. Somebody will post it. He's going to defund, take away tax dollars from this democracy effort, which is just spreading war around the planet. That's a good thing. And if the ignorant side says that, then the other ignorant extreme side will say, wow, he said something positive about Trump. Maybe he's not, you know, an extremist jerk. You know, maybe he's not that extreme. You know, and then you get a conversation can happen and dialogue can happen because you're not jumping up on the ignorance. In Sri Lanka, we got crazy stuff in Sri Lanka that's happening right now. I was going to look at that this morning, but I think we're just having a fun conversation. We're just having a laid back conversation. So I'm going to keep doing this. We'll keep talking. Kimberly, your son is half Japanese. He's got all the genetics from the Japanese and everybody else, and so he's going to be healthy. Kathy, you say that with love. Kathy said, I say that with love, Drew. I know you do, girl. I love you to death. I know you do. I don't take anything personal. I'm okay. People call me names all the time. It's funny, Kathy. People call me names, and I know you aren't one of them. People just they come out here. They call me all kind of names sometimes in discussions. I'm okay with it. I understand that usually on social media, like people who are like new to talking with us, I think they'll come in sometimes and they're just like, "You're dumb. You're an idiot. You're a fool. You're crazy." Well, they'll throw stuff out there. I can square off back at them. I can be a forceful person. I can say mean stuff. But like what for what? Like why? I don't feel good when I hurt somebody's feelings. I don't feel good when I win an argument. Why is that good? It was an argument. The person's not going to change their mind. They're just going to be pissed off at me because I had a little more information than they did. Or I'm going to be, they won the argument. I might be pissed off at them. Like that, to me, I guess it doesn't solve anything. So, people come in, they'll come to the thread and they'll sometimes bring the ignorance with them. And I'm just like, well, why am I going to be mad at them? Everywhere else you go on social media, everybody's fighting. And if I fight with him, then eventually my page becomes the fight page, and I don't want that. I want people to just be able to talk, so they can be mad at me. I'm just going to turn the other cheek. That's a religious thing. For any of y'all that read your Bible, the Bible, that's the thing that you hold when you go to church on Sunday. You're supposed to read it. You're supposed to turn the other cheek. You're not supposed to take out the other fist. Um, Yeah, they privatize it, Joel, don't they? They privatize the prison. They make a lot of money on it. So I don't think that they're going to fix the problem. They are the problem. All three of my children had after-school jobs in the community, which is good. Kids should work. I don't know if they should work for money. I don't know if they should work for money, Mary, because I don't think I believe in money anymore. But they should work. They should realize that when you construct something or you make something or you do something for other people, it makes you feel good. Like growing up, I didn't have a choice. If the neighbor's grass had to be cut, my father would make me do it. If the neighbor wanted to give me some money for it, great. If the neighbor, hurt their hip, broke their leg or something, their grass needs to be raked, needs to be cut, or their leaves need to be raked, or the driveway needs to be shoveled. That's what we are there for. We were kids in the community, and my father knew what a community was. And we have to think about what our parents tried to teach us. And if one of your parents was ignorant, but if they were both ignorant, what your grandparents, your aunts, your uncles, there's always people who understand community, and this is how community works. And when people work together for each other, people are a lot less violent verbally anyway. A lot of states allow child marriages. Yeah, Crystal, that is sick, isn't it? It's sick, and I like to do sometimes, Crystal. I like to look at things from all angles. I'm gonna make an approach here. I might get in big trouble too. I'm gonna make an approach, but this is laid back. This is a snowy day for me, so I'm just laid back talking. Where did that come from? Child marriages came from what? A time when we had to get married young, right? Because we died in our 30s, and so people got married when they were 14 or 15. Um, but it also came from cultures where they arranged the marriages and things. It also came from thinking women were less than cattle. I thought I saw a study or some a research the other day that said something like there's less and less child marriages as we're moving forward, as we're evolving. We're living longer, we're understanding. We need to let kids be kids. I have extreme beliefs on it. Like I kind of think that I don't think before 26, before you have a frontal lobe, I don't think you should make life decisions. I don't know that we should force them and say they can't get married when they're 16 or 20 or whatever. I just think that we have to probably talk more around the topic. I don't like to tell other cultures what they can and can't do if it's a part of their culture where they do arranged marriages at 16. Um, I don't get mad at 16. I'm just like, man, I don't like it. When I hear about seven and David Koresh and Waco, Texas, and some of the cultures that are marrying kids when they're like To me, 7 is a baby. That's not even a kid. That's not a youth. It's not even a young adult. That is a baby, baby, baby. That's a violation. I get angry when I think about stuff like that, Crystal. Um, but I try to process, where does this stuff come from? When we fix people, they don't want to do these things anymore. If we make it obvious and we talk more about it, like if cultures understand that, I don't want to get graphic. I don't want to get graphic, but it's not okay for a grown man physically to interact with a child anywhere near that age, not from a legal, common sense, or parent perspective. From a physical, biological perspective, it is extremely dangerous. And I think maybe if that's known more, maybe if these people know that culture is exposed to that sort of medical information, maybe less will do it. Maybe if we don't bomb their countries and we don't force them into poverty and scarcity, maybe less of them will have warrior genetics and they'll be psychopaths. Because I think you have to be a psychopath to want to do something like that with a child, marry a child and do that. Like your brain can't be doing the right things. But it all comes full circle, right, Crystal? Back to the whole point. If we stop breaking up communities, if we stop bombing towns, if we stop, invading nations, there'll be less child marriages. There'll be less rape gangs. There'll be less of those things happening. And so I think we are our own enemy in that way. I think that we always got to look at the mirror, and we live in a nation that supports that. And so I think there's a lot of old world cultural things that would probably already be gone if America and the West weren't invading the world. I think that we would evolve past these horrible things that we don't want to think about if we stop supporting the same politicians who refuse to change. I don't think people link together the fact that their political parties are embracing child marriages. They can say anything they want on television. But if you really think about it from an evolutionary perspective, we're not evolving because of their activity all over the world. And I think we really have to connect those dots and link that up so that when these people talk, like that's what I see. I see bad things when they talk. When they tell me things like, yeah, we're going to put Oprah in, Oprah's going to fix it. All I see is war. All I see is bombs and murder and, sex slavery and child trafficking and all. That's all I see. And so I don't take their come vote for me seriously. I don't take their, well, Bernie's just going to get it together. He's just going to fix it. I don't take any of that seriously. I just look at you like, man, I love you and I wish I could somehow help you to connect the dots. But the people who caused all of this, they don't care. They don't care and they're not going to change. We are the ones who have to change. Common sense comes from the community level up. So that's what I think about with the child marriage stuff is I try to keep a link to the people who are actually doing the things around the world that don't let enough information and the internet make it into those countries so that stuff goes away. Um, yeah, Crystal said like all the kids fighting for gun control now, they don't know, and that's why I'm not mad at them. I'm not gonna fight with them over it. I'm just gonna say keep reading, talk to some more people. Do you know anybody with guns? Go talk to them. They want to end the NRA. Like, do you know anybody in the NRA? Have you talked to them? Have you found out why they're in the NRA? Do you know most of them are police officers and most of them are war veterans? Most of them are not rednecks, gun loving freaks that are down holes and you know what? And I think I don't know. Somebody can post it. I'm just having a thought here. I suspect that most mass shooters are not NRA members because most mass shooters are community shooters. Most people who shoot people, gangs, Bloods, Crips, whoever, triads, they don't join the NRA. They have illegal weapons. They don't have any interest in the legislation. They don't care what legislation you write. They care about money and they're going to do anything they can for it. You know, so closing the NRA, it's not going to fix anything. You know, helping poor people to not be able to defend themselves, I don't think is a good thing. Um, Let me see what else. You love me, Kimberly. Thank you. You said y'all love me just the way I am. I thank you. I love you the way you are too, girl. I love all y'all. I don't love me the way I am, though. I don't. I don't. I don't, Kimberly. I try to change myself every day. It's part of why I do this. Part of why I go back and I'll read on most of the videos I do, I read every single comment. Because I don't love me the way I am. I like me the way I am, but I want to be better. You know, I want people to talk to me and share their knowledge with me, share what they know, tell me where I'm saying something that doesn't make sense so I can make more sense tomorrow. Like I think and that's one thing that's powerful about this internet. If you're willing to have diverse friends, you know, we all get smarter together. Um, yes, Crystal, and you attract more flies with honey, and that's the whole point. If the whole goal is to attract flies, you gotta use honey. You know, if your whole goal is to have less flies, you gotta use honey. If your whole goal is to have less white nationalism, you gotta use honey. If your whole goal is to have less black nationalism, you gotta use honey. Like that's that absolutely, absolutely. Brother Joe, welcome to the house. It's been a while, Joe. I see you come in late. I know you work late. That's why I'm just hanging out late. We're just talking. Um, uh, yes, we need to avoid dichotomies. Yes, we need to avoid the dichotomies, Kimberly. Y'all don't touch them dichotomies. If they fly in the house, y'all should shoot them. You know, we need to fight the dichotomies. I don't even know what dichotomies is. I don't know. I kind of know what it is, but not really. I have to look at the definition. I have to. I won't convince anybody. I'm smart and I know all this stuff. I don't know some dichotomy. I know what. I once got some dichotomies on my feet. Man, it's whew, God. It was itchy. Had to put a little powder on there. It's okay. Listen, it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to admit you don't know something. I don't know something all the time. I'm not going to sit here and pretend and convince you. I'm a good convincer though. I listen. Kimberly, I used to be in sales. I can put on a fake face and be fake, but at the end of the day, how does it help things if we're fake? I can't get any smart. I can't figure out that the dichotomy is an itchy nose. Y'all see me itching my nose? My nose is itchy this morning. I can't convince you that, you know, I won't learn what a dichotomy is if I pretend I know what it is. Right? If I'm always right, if I'm never wrong. Oh, I was talking to somebody, well, I don't know if it was yesterday or this morning. I think it was this morning. If we're always right, we never learn. And this is the big issue with political parties that we call cults, is they're never wrong. They never admit they're wrong. They're always right. You know, the sick thing about that is if you're always right and you're never wrong, you never learn. Because if you're never wrong, then you don't ever have to change your course because you actually don't learn. And if you have people who vote for your party, vote for your group, whatever, and then they're convinced too that you're always right, then the wars never stop. Child marriage never stops. Rape never stops. Slavery never stops. Abuse against women never stops. Child abuse never stops because these groups are never wrong. They're always right. And that's one of the sickest, most dangerous things about modern society in America. And I hope it's not in your country if you're not in America, is we live where the majority of people, I think the majority of people can admit that they're wrong, but the majority of people back groups that are never wrong. And that's why I can't be a Democrat and I can't be a Republican because they're never wrong. I don't want my integrity attached to them. They're always right. And so they never make any changes on anything. And they're, I mean, when was the last time you heard a politician from either side say they were wrong? They don't say it because they know everything. Y'all, they're smart. They just survive. They know everything and they know how to fix everything. Everything they touch breaks. It breaks the hell out of our society, but they know everything. Um, Let me see. Turning the other cheek is a revolutionary act. Jesus was a pacifist revolutionary, a kind of oxymoron. Yeah, and that is just ancient, wonderful, great wisdom. Turn the other cheek. Don't repeat somebody else's ignorance with your own ignorance. You know, when you hear these kids say these things that politicians and leaders tell them to say, as ignorant as it is, just remember you're the adult in the conversation. Act like the adult in the conversation. Let them make it personal, and you just take the higher road. Um, it's like, I had another good conversation yesterday, and I can't tell you any details because you'll know both of them, so I can't say the details. But give a chance for people to learn. Give a chance for people to evolve. And so the example was a person said something 3 months ago they probably shouldn't have said, and it kind of went against some of the things our community talks about. But the conversation we were having, which is I really appreciate this person reaching out to me, was, do you think this person is a hypocrite? And I was saying, I don't know. I don't think so. I like this person. If they say that, but they're doing this, that sounds bad. But if it was 3 months ago, have they learned anything in the 3 months? Have they changed at all? Have they, when you listen to them, are they saying different things? Are they doing different things? We have to let the past stay in the past. We have to let people learn, right? And so it was a great discussion we had just talking about it, that this person is probably learning. But we have to have that we step back like adults and give people a chance to learn. Yusuf, is that what you're talking about Trump defunding? I don't know if it was Yusuf. And I might have the link. It was I like to save these links. They were talking about defunding a democracy. There's some fund that they put money in for war. At least that was my understanding, and it pissed off the neocons. I think I heard it from Ron Paul. I could have swore I posted it on my timeline. Um, I thought I heard it from Ron Paul, the Liberty Institute. It's called the Liberty Institute. Let's try to do a search. Say Trump to defund. It's like a World Democracy Fund or something. World Democracy. You do these searches. Let me show you let me show you what I look at. It's weird. I'm doing stuff y'all can't see. Let me show you what I'm looking at. Yeah. You do a search. I did a search for Trump to defund democracy, and it says, can democracy survive Donald Trump? Like democracy actually exists right now. It does not, and it has not in a long time. No, it won't survive Donald Trump because it wasn't there when Donald Trump got in office, and it won't be there when he leaves. I don't think it will be. I hope he does something, but I don't think it will be. I think our problems are much bigger than the president's. Um, Weakness in America, blah 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 blah. I don't see it. It's a democracy. It's some sort of world democracy fund. Somebody will post it. Somebody will post it. I don't remember the name of it. But there was something. A few things I saw were interesting. This mountain I was looking at in the news. Should I post something up here? Daniel McAdams. I love that brother. Oh man, he's on the Ron Paul. He's on RT a lot now. If y'all don't follow Daniel McAdams, the quotes he's just dropping out. He is an amazingly smart guy. I don't know how people retain the stuff they do. Ooh, y'all want to look at the Book of Giants? Y'all want to look at the Book of Giants? I want to look at the Book of Giants. I didn't study it yet. I haven't looked into it yet. I don't know anything about it. I look at the Book of Giants. Hold on. I want to do this real quick.
My life has completely changed overnight.
Oh, I don't want that.
Time travel.
I hate commercials because they found the Book of Giants in the Dead Sea Scrolls, and I think it's important because we don't even know what. But if giants were real and most Christians don't know it, y'all need to tell them.
About 50 years ago, a most miraculous discovery was made. Known as the Book of Giants, it is an antediluvian narrative that has long been hunted by adventurers and archaeologists alike. Attributed to the writings of a character known as Mani, the Book of Giants had long been known as a real body of work, which circulated among the ancient Manichaeans. During the 20th century, discoveries of tiny fragments of this original work began to reveal the Book of Giants' actual existence. Fragments of Dead Sea Scrolls containing the actual Book of Giants were first discovered at Turfan, now known as Turpan, a city located within the east of China. These fragments substantiated the many references to its existence within other literature, and finally confirmed its existence beyond doubt. People of all walks of life began to devote their lives to the discovery of these incredible texts. Texts which apparently documented the life and death of an ancient race of giants, who called themselves the Wild Men. It is an expansive narrative of the birth of immortal giants on Earth. In this story, the giants came into being when the sons of God had children with mortal women, subsequently birthing a hybrid race of giants. These giants partook in destructive and immoral actions, which slowly devastated humanity. When Enoch heard of this, he was distressed and asked God to bring judgment to the giants. When the giants heard this, many chose to act in defiance. While these fragments were incomplete at this point, the Manichaean literature ends the story by telling of the hosts of God beating the race of giants in battle. An incredible story, one which dates back from far within our ancient past. In 1971, J.T. Millick discovered several Aramaic fragments of Enochic works among Dead Sea Scrolls at a site known as Qumran. Among the fragments discovered were 10 manuscripts of the Book of Giants. These fragments were found in 6 different caves which dotted the site. These scroll discoveries allowed for further refinement of the works, and is now seen as a virtually complete ancient text. Is this story yet more compelling proof of an ancient race of giants who once dwelled and later perished here upon our planet? Or perhaps just a religious fairy tale? Regardless of this, it is an impressive and amazing story in its own right, one which has managed to survive untold millennia to reach us in the modern day. A story many people throughout history saw it incredibly important to preserve and communicate to others. Thanks for watching, guys, and until next time.
You know how crazy that is? That's crazy. Isn't that crazy? To me, oh man, I can't wait to like start to research this and look. I didn't know that. I had no idea that there was a Book of Giants. I knew there was a Book of Enoch, and I knew that they canonized the Bible, and we didn't really know all the truth. Hang on, I had to move my head. I'm back under the halo. But that's just crazy. And so, of course, I want to get it and read it. So if y'all know anything about it, if y'all have a place where I can start to look into it, I want to look into it because I think that's huge. Like the idea that we were wrong and the Sumerians, they knew there were giants. All the other cultures that talked about the giants, all the megalithic structures built by the giants. And now there actually is another ancient text that just does nothing and talks about giants. I don't know. That, to me, is fascinating. We don't know what we are, and I think that's huge. Have also heard that there used to be taller people that had 6 fingers on each hand. Yeah, brother Joe, you getting into I think that the Nephilim had 6 fingers. I thought that was a thing with them. They found those statues around the world that had multiple they found statues around the world that had 6 fingers. I thought there were pictures where they're like cave drawings or something that had multiple fingers. Like there was evidence that every now, I mean, there are people alive right now that have 6 fingers. Aren't there kids now that they have, I say kids you can find. There are kids that are born with 6 fingers. Ooh, you know what? Isn't there a video? Let me see if I can find. Isn't there like an old video of I think it was a Russian giant. Was this fake? I'm curious. It was like during a parade. Did y'all see it? I don't know. I'm just like looking up stuff now. We're just kind of hanging out. But there was a parade and it was like a Russian giant. I don't know if y'all saw that. The old video. And I'm just wondering if it was like Photoshop. There he goes. Look at this. Look at this. Ooh, let me show you. Look at this. This is crazy. Is this fake news? Look at this. at this. Is this fake? Does anybody know if this is? Oh, you can't see the top of his head. Hold on, let me move it down. It looked like Andre the Giant in a diaper. Y'all remember Andre the Giant? Is that fake? That's huge. Cause I don't know. I don't see. It's a book of giants now. You know, I need to know if that's real or if that's fake. Somebody said yes, it's fake. They already proved it's a fake one. Polydactyl, not uncommon, toes and fingers. Right, polydactyl. You always got the big words, Renee. You so smart. So I'm glad you always around. Polydactyl, and I can't even spell it. They probably come out look like a pterodactyl. Is this real? Lori, it's fake. They found this is fake. This is not a real video. I want it to be. Can it be real, Lori? What did they do? Did they cause look at him, he's walking, and look at the space between him and the horse. Oh, wait a minute. I see. Oh, that's fake. That's fake. Hold on. Look at the beginning. Wait, look where the horse came out of his crotch. Hold on. Wait. Let me see if I can pause it. That's fake. Dang it. I wanted it to be real. Because you see where the horse came from? And the horse ain't gonna ride through his leg. Like, look at that horse right there. Like, you see, let me blow it up. It's fake. Dag nabbit. Like, see the horse right there? It's in a position that doesn't look right. Like his head is in front of his knee. I don't think that's possible. Man. Anyway, it's still a book of giants. That's not going to take away from the fact it's a book of giants. But that was crazy. I saw that. And there used to be a TV show. Did anybody watch that TV show? There was it was called In Search of Giants, I think it was called. Where they're looking for they were going around the world. I think it might have been Discovery Channel or something. They were looking for just different giants and evidence of giants and the footprints. Have y'all ever seen the footprints where they have the giant footprints that they found all over the world? Giant footprints. I have to shrink my screen when I swap screens. Like this. I always eco Asia. If y'all don't eco Asia, y'all need to eco Asia. Don't Google nothing no more. Don't do that. That's Skynet. Eco Asia until they go back to free speech. Like, look at this. Isn't this crazy? Now, some of these are fake. Like right here. That looks like a real foot to me. Now we have an official book of giants in the Bible. Now, y'all, now we can talk about it. Now giants it could be a plausible thing. Let me see if I can move it up a little bit. Look at that. So it's a foot the size of her. It looks like it's in rock. That looks like the real deal to me. That looks like a giant footprint from the book of giants from the Bible. It's now religious, y'all. Y'all are supposed to believe in it now. See, I look at something like that and I think that's fake. I'm not a geologist or anything. And I look at that and I'm just like, I don't know. It looks like somebody could have carved that in some mud or something. You know, look at this one. It looks good and I like it. And it looks like it might be in rock, but I think it's fake too. Because you can see, like, you ever go out in the mud. Y'all should walk in the mud in your garden in the mud. You're supposed to do that. It's called grounding. Get your feet all in the mud. Feel it between your toes. It's kind of freaky. It feels good though. It's awesome. But all your microbiology, it goes through your feet and everything. But you never leave footprints that look like that. You never leave footprints that are just good. Like Bigfoot. Bigfoot ain't that dumb. When Bigfoot is walking, he's not like pressing his feet down to try to make sure that every toe is shown. You know, it just looks all messed up. Like, who was the researcher? Y'all remember Mary Leakey? And the other thing like this looks fake to me too. And this is why I listen to Coast to Coast. If some of y'all don't listen to Coast to Coast, I like Coast to Coast because you'll hear like real archaeologists, you'll hear real scientists, you'll hear like real scientific and professional people. But then you'll also have the people who put the extra sauce on it, and they add and they make up stuff. And it helps you when you look at this stuff to be able to say, well, I don't know, that doesn't really sound true. That sounds kind of fake. And that's why, so when I'm clicking around here, I'm going through the internet, I'm trying to do some research, looking into stuff. Like, I'll look at things and I know that to a degree that Bigfoot, you know what to look for in a footprint like this. You know, that's not Bigfoot, y'all. He's not coming. He's not coming to the party. I want it to be real too. Then someone takes off the loincloth. Oh, Oh, oh goodness. Oh Lord. Yeah, hold on. Let me go back. If y'all don't know what Kimberly's talking about, if you just joined. Oh no, Kimberly. You pull up, girl. Where's your husband at? Where is your husband on here? You need, yeah, y'all need to stop that. You do not, because the guy's on the horse right in front of the guy. If that loincloth comes off, it's not gonna, oh no, that's not gonna be pretty. That's gonna be, see, you gonna need some psychological help. He gonna, you just riding the horse one day, minding your own business, all of a sudden, you know, big tally knacker. You just riding the horse in the parade, and you know they're filming you. Well, I guess they didn't have cell phones back then, but somebody was filming, and all of a sudden, this big thing just fall on your head. Oh, Kimberly, you need to stop. You need to stop. That's psychological help. You need that. You got to talk to somebody that happens. If I'm riding a horse on a parade, people filming me, and all of a sudden just a big old tally knacker just slapped me in the side of my head. Oh no, no tally knackers. I call them that's what we used to call when we were kids, tally knackers. No, tally knackers do not belong on my shoulder. It's just like it's. Oh Lord. Oh yeah. I need to sit on the sofa and talk to somebody for a little bit. I don't even know what we talking about. We just sitting back, relaxing. There's nothing else to do today, so I'm just talking. Yes, I did watch this show, The Search of Giants. You did, Susan? Should I watch it? Because I watched, I think I might have saw a piece of a few episodes here or there. I didn't get too excited about the parts that I saw. Like when I watch these reality shows where they're searching for stuff, I'm a skeptic. Like I look at stuff, and if it looks like they're really real, like I watch it. If I see things that don't really gel right with me, like they're animating it, or it's like Survivor or something where it's really not real, they kind of, and I think the episode I saw, I thought they were kind of pushing it. They were looking at the mounds in North America. You know, the mound builders built all these mounds over North America. They were looking at that and they were saying the mound builders were the giants. And I think it was proven. I thought that it was the Clovis people. And so I thought they were kind of stretching. So I don't think I watched anything after that. But if it's good, let me know. I'll watch it and where I can watch it. If it's on Netflix, I'll go find it. But I'll watch it. Yeah, Kimberly, we went barefoot as kids too. We ran around barefoot all the time. We used to go to Arkansas. As soon as we get to Arkansas, take our shoes off. We're at my granddaddy's house. Start running around, kicking sand. Oh, we didn't wear shoes till it was time to put shoes back on and go back to Maryland. Have to jump off. Have a meeting. Okay, Renee. Renee popped in, popped out. Thanks for stopping in, Renee. Nobody's missing anything. We're just talking today. I'm just hanging out. Back on the master's time log. Okay, Lori had to run too. Okay, people gotta go to work, gotta pick the cotton. But we're on the East Coast here. There's no cotton today. I'm sitting around doing nothing. I think we are all kinds of beings from all kinds of places. Tell me more, Susan. I want to know more about your theories. Tell me more. I do too. I think we're all kind of different. I think that I was telling somebody that this morning. I think that there are really ancient species that live in our universe. And I think they fly around and they're like us. They like we fly around in airplanes, and our scientists ride around doing safaris, and we run into other creatures and we want to know what they are. We want to discover them. We want to bring them home, show them to other people, take pictures of them. But we also have genetic engineers who want to change them into something else and modify them, like GMO crops and all this stuff. And I think that we probably are a GMO crop. I think there are species out there that fly around the universe, and people call them God. That's okay. And they come up to a planet that can support life, and they'll seed the planet with like microbiology. And they'll leave for like 2 or 5 billion years. They know it's like putting toast in the oven. They know they got to leave it there for about 5 billion years, and they fly away in the spaceships, go to another planet, another solar system, galaxy, dimension, do whatever they're doing. And they come back when they hear a bing after about 5 billion years. Earth is done. We go back to Earth. You come back to Earth, and there are dinosaurs walking around, and monkeys just scratching their armpits, and just all kind of crazy stuff happen, eating each other. And they look at all the species and they determine, you know what, who is the most civilized? Who do I want to mix my genetics with to grow a brain? And they pick a species, whether it's a reptiles, some monkeys, and they give us the chromosome or the NH type blood or whatever it is, and the genetic genes to the rib. I made man from one of my ribs. I think that creature gives us that, and it because it already worked with the dust from the earth, the microbiology on the earth, and then the human is going to become something. The monkey's going to grow into something. It leaves again, leaves for another 500 million years, and it knows, bing, it's like the pie is done. It's flying around in Galaxy Centauri Alpha. Bing, Earth is done, and it comes back to Earth. And next, it's us. We walking around, and it comes down and land and says, "Look, here are the 10 Commandments. Y'all got to stop killing each other. You got to stop murdering each other. You got to stop stealing from each other. You got to stop, gives us the rules for how to evolve." And I think we're just an experiment. I think, so do we come from all different places? Could be. Maybe there's more than one creature that's doing that we call God. Maybe the other one's called Allah. Maybe the other one's called Buddha. Maybe the other one's called Quetzalcoatl. Maybe the other is called Shiva. I don't know. That's why I don't fight over stuff like that, because I don't really know. All I know is the galaxy is a big damn place. It is a big place. If you look at the Hubble pictures, which good things are about to happen now with NASA, because we're going to have, what is it, the Space Webb telescope. So now we're going to have the ability to look even deeper into space. We're going to have the ability to look at that dot and zoom in. Like when you look at pictures of the Hubble, man, there's just so much out there. There is so much, so many planets and galaxies and solar systems. So there's no way possible we are alone. I saw a comment. I'm not going to say anything about. I am not going to say that. Oh my gosh. I think there are all kinds of timelines and portals where all kind of beings come from and resonate. Make perfectly good sense, Susan. You're talking quantum physics, right? Like that. We don't know. And I think that human beings could eventually in the future, maybe we discovered time travel and we're coming back. Maybe we discover time travel in a different dimension and we go back in that dimension and flip over in this dimension. I've never, well, except for my friends here, they're all some aliens. I never met the aliens, so I really don't know what aliens look like. They're just, the Hubble, if you ever look at the Hubble pictures, it's obvious. There's so much around us. And these aren't even planets, right? Some of them are solar systems. They're not even suns. So you're looking at literal Milky Way galaxies. And so I think about it like this, which is why I think there's endless possibilities. But if there's more Earth-like planets in the Milky Way galaxy than grains of sand on all the beaches all over the Earth, and all of these things are Milky Way galaxies, and this is the deep Hubble shot, right? This is the one where they took the Hubble and they pointed it at the smallest point in space where it was dark, 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 dark. It was black. Nothing possibly could be there. And they let the Hubble zoom in and focus in on that area for it was 24 hours or overnight, something like that. And when they came through it, they had this picture and they found 10,000 more galaxies in the darkest spot in space where they thought there could be absolutely nothing. There's no way we're the only game in town. There's no way. There's creatures discovered space flight, space travel, multi-dimensional, all kind of crazy stuff, things we know nothing about. Let me see. What else y'all talking about? So I'm still going, and I'm avoiding that somebody trying to put me in a loincloth. Well, this broadcast had one person at the -7 people. I do that. I don't really remember the show or the name. I don't remember the name of the show, but the show sounds familiar. I live in upstate New York. Lots of snow coming down 1 to 2 inches per hour. Yeah, I know, Kimberly. I'm in Pennsylvania. I was expecting it to stop. It's still snowing. Still snowing. That stuff's still coming down. I like Dexter. Dexter was a great show, Kimberly. I liked X-Files too. I haven't caught up on the new X-Files. You know what I liked about Dexter though? I liked it from like a sociological thing. I liked that 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 they took a psychopath and they showed you what neuroscience talks about. They showed you that being a psychopath, you're on a spectrum. And it doesn't mean that you don't have, you know, it's not no love, no empathy, high aggression, want to murder everybody all the damn time, no common sense, nothing. It's a spectrum. You go all the way from you're almost nothing to you got tons of it. And so Dexter was a guy who was a mass murderer, but he had his type of psychopathy, I guess you would call it, was, you know, he didn't get his endorphin response from just killing anyone. He got his responses, he felt good if he killed bad people. And so it was a great thing where it was a horrible thing. Don't ever murder nobody. It was a great show because it really demonstrated that well. And it made you like the psychopath. And I think that's important, to like the psychopath. I think it's important to understand that we are all just people. And if we're born in the wrong environment, we become Dexter. We become the psychopath. So I love that. That was a great show. Somebody, if you haven't watched Dexter, you should watch Dexter. I like what it did. Kimberly's husband's coming home soon. I hope so, Kimberly. And I'm going to tell on you, too. I'm telling you, want to see the Giants loincloth come off. I'm going to tell on you. All right, let's see what else. Got to get some stuff planted. I can listen a while I work. Okay, thanks, Hangling Kimberly. Yeah, we're not really talking about it. Brother Kevin is in the house. We're just talking, Kevin. There was a topic I hit earlier. We were talking about climate change and how the cold planet always becomes warm. And I was kind of linking that, you know, you can't flip out about bad times. Bad times always go back to good times. We always get through it. We always have. Humanity will get through this nonsense. You know, the climate will change, but all the volcanoes they found in Antarctica. So it was interesting that the climate's always changing, and the theories behind it, not necessarily climate change, but things always change, and that we can't get bent out of shape because things look real bad right now. I missed something, Brother Kevin. I thought you said something. I'm sorry. I'm trying to make sure I see everybody's comment. At least just answer a few of them. I guess I missed that one. Brother Joe said something. Susan said, humans are not very civilized. We can see. Yep, there's nothing civil in our civilization. Brother Joe kind of believed that also. There are other dimensions as well as other planets like Bermuda Triangle. And there's a triangle off the coast of California also. I believe that's possible. I believe even with the Bermuda Triangle, Joe, it could be Atlantis. Somebody could have, you know, dropped something. UFO could have been flying, Joe, in the side view mirror, hit something else, hit another UFO, and it fell in the ocean. But their side view mirrors are made out of some, I don't know, elixir, aethium, some material that just monkeys around with electromagnetics. And so now every time a ship flies over the Bermuda Triangle, something happens, it disappears. I don't know. I think that's possible. I think they said that, but there was a theory that it had to do with CO2 gases coming up, bubbling up from the bottom of the ocean, and it took away ship's buoyancy, so the ships would sink. I don't know, but I think that the thing that I'm sticking to nowadays, though, is I want to know, and the only look at this is pretty. Look at that. The only way I get to know is if my government doesn't have any secrets, if everything they know is in the public domain, and I think that we got to get to that point. I would love to know. So there's just so much we don't know. I literally don't fight with anyone over anything now. I am a lover, not a fighter. Susan, you are such a human being. I love that. That's just, you have such a big heart. And that's the way I'm not there. I'm getting there. I want to be like you. I want to get to a point where I don't fight with anybody for anything anymore because it's useless. It's a waste of breath, oxygen. And with so much fighting that's happening between intelligent people now, people who lose their intelligence for moments and they flip out, we don't need any more of that stuff. I want to be just like that too. I don't ever want to get in any spats with anybody over anything. Sometimes I get caught up and I got to pull myself back, but it's definitely not as frequent as it used to be. Um, Let me see. Oh man, a lot of good discussion. Buddha came back. Buddha came back. Damn, the cat came back. Isn't that a song? The cat came back. Isn't that a song, Buddha? I know you're a cat person. The cat came back. That's a nursery. You know what? I'm not gonna search for it. Cat came back. I think that's a song. All right. Just depends on. Okay, okay. Joe and Susan, y'all getting into it. I'm like midway up your discussion. I can't actually follow y'all's discussion. I saw Dexter, but couldn't totally get into it. Yeah, Dexter was hard, Susan. I started watching it at first. I watched it for, I want to say the first season, and the characterization didn't fit in, and I just stopped watching. But then for some reason, I got lonely in life. I don't know, something happened. I just started season two, and I fell in love with it. Like it picked up, and the characterization sat in. I fell in love with Dexter, and the next thing you know, I couldn't resist it. It was awesome. And then you had the black cop, the guy, the bald guy. He was always after Dexter. Oh, there's some funny clips of him. He was a funny guy. You mother! Every time he came around, you mother, you crazy. You know. Yeah. Anyway, you have to watch the show. It was a great show. Um, yes, great show. I love Dexter. More of a vigilante. Yeah, Dexter was awesome, Buddha. I love the show Psych too. I didn't. You know what? I've never watched Psych. I want to. Um, I've liked a few psychopaths in my days. You know what, Crystal? I bet you. Shoot, I dated some psychopaths, but that's another discussion. We won't go there. But I would bet you if we ever get to a point where we're actually scanning people's brains, I think that we'll find out more people are psychopaths than we know. I think we're going to find out more than half the people we know, and a lot of us are psychopaths. We're low on the spectrum, and we're psychopaths for like we want to change the world, and we're psychopaths instead of murdering people. We love to love people. We like to care for people. We want to fix the world, you know. But we got to get to that place where everybody gets actually tested and have their brain scanned. You got to prove to me first it doesn't cause cancer, because all these little silly scans are always seem to be causing cancer nowadays. They always cause cancer. I believe most people have secrets and skeletons in their closet. My husband and I are very honest and have tons of integrity and no skeletons in our closet, and I trust very few humans. You know, Susan, you've got a great marriage, but you have that old school original marriage. You have the marriage where two people are together and they understand two people become one, and you can't have any secrets. That's what I believe. When it comes to marriage, I believe that you can't have secrets. I think that everything has to be out there, and that's the only way that you build up that bond and that integrity is just everything you know, they know. And if you actually do that, um, you know, you don't have to worry about the things that other people do. You don't have to worry about, well, she's late. It's something you're going on, something happened, you know, your wife is late coming home from work, your husband's late. Your first thought isn't they're cheating. Your first thought is, are they okay? Right? And that's how a marriage is supposed to be. But we have to get back to that in society. We got to get back to a place where we trust each other a lot more. And you trust each other by being honest. You're honest because you're allowed to be wrong. People know that you'll admit when you're wrong because they actually see you're admitting that you're wrong, you know? And so I think a marriage and a relationship and communities and society works the same way. It's what we have to do. Susan said, I think many things are possible. I watch all the shows, Ancient Aliens and many things. Yeah, I used to watch Ancient Aliens. I haven't watched it in a while. It kind of got a little out there for me, Susan. It kind of got to a point where it was just like, what's his name? Sergio, the guy with the hair, Sergio. It ain't aliens, but it's aliens. He got a little too special for, like they were reaching, I think in some places they were pointing at things that weren't evidence of ancient aliens. And so of course the debunkers come out here and, oh, we're debunking ancient aliens. And it's just, you know, so I haven't watched in a while. I don't even know if it's still on TV. But I believe in the theory. I believe in the theory because we have so much evidence. We have so much evidence ancient aliens were here because of ancient technology. We have ancient technology proving that something was here. And if you look at ancient technology, there's all types of, like, just the stone cuttings. There's a cassette tape. That's crazy. Like the stone cuttings. That's why I like ancient megaliths, and I like to look at that stuff. And it's like there's no way that somebody did that with a chisel and a hammer. That's just stupid to believe something like that. Like this, I don't know if this is true. A cassette tape. That's pretty funny. See, and you have to be able to spot stuff like this. That's just silly. That's just silly. There's no way that's a cassette tape in a rock, but some people will believe it and they won't stop to process and think about it logically that if we were here before and we did make cassette tapes, which is, it's a stretch. Humans could have made cassette tapes before, but the odds are that the rotors and the dial and everything would be exactly where it is. Makes no sense. To me, that's not a hint of ancient archaeology. It's somebody messing with you, having some fun. Or somebody who had a Walkman and the Walkman fell into the time machine and it went back in time. That could be possible. Or maybe it's a cassette tape from a different dimension. Maybe, I don't know. So this stuff is interesting. But then I look at this, like, look at this. Look at this cut. Like, there's no way you did that with a chisel. Look, I gotta blow it up for you. Like this, because it's silly to me that people don't, they don't really understand that we're not, we didn't do this with a hammer and a chisel. And archaeology, they can't answer it, and they don't try to answer it. They just ignore it exists. They just, I don't see no a drill hole in some stone, found in Egypt or wherever. I don't see it. Peru, I don't see it. And it's there, dummy. Look, it's right there. You can see it. It's obvious that there was ancient technology that we don't know anything about. And that ancient technology is why Zahi Hawass is lying about every damn thing. It's why we can't go to Antarctica. It's why every time they discover a site, people here and working on the site and they don't open it in public so we can see it because they're trying to figure out the drill that made that damn thing. They want to find a laser. Why? Because America wants to find a laser. They want to put it on the front of a tank and they want to just take over the world. But if you look at just the cuts, the things that they did, like, why would they do this stuff? Why in the world? It's just like it serves no point and it serves no purpose. There was one where they had stairs and they were the perfect cut of stairs and none of it makes any sense. It's like the stairs, and that's not it, but the stairs were upside down. Why are the stairs upside down? Because it's been here for 20 million years and it's turned over and the volcano pushed it around and flipped over and whatever, and now it's upside down, or the planet was in a different gravitational pull in a different spot in the Milky Way galaxy. Physics was reversed and they walked upside down. I don't know. All I know is they don't know, and they lie about every damn thing that they know and they don't know. Let me see. Be careful of humans, everyone. Dr. Phil said not to give people the benefit of the doubt, but to collect information. I hear you, Susan. I'm weary of people, but I'm not scared of people. Like, I talk to people all the time. Said I got friends that used to be white nationalists. I don't know if they still are, but like those things don't. People are just people, and we can't be scared of our people anymore. And that's our people. No matter how they view it, I don't care. That's my people, and I'm gonna look out for my people, even if they aren't looking out for me. There was a good saying that goes back that talks about, what is good about somebody who only loves people who love them. Like, there's nothing great about that. If you love people that only love you, you suck. Like, I'm sorry, you do. I love you, but you suck. And if you hate people because they hate you, then you suck. Like, that's stupid. Why would you be that way? Be the adult in the conversation. Like, you should love people because they're people. That's how you pull them out of that hate, is you love them, and you don't fall to that level. You take your privilege that you had a good upbringing or you were able to deal with the environment you were raised in. So, but if hate just keeps making more hate, then it's just stupid. We fall into like a really crazy world. Like, look at these blocks. This is crazy. There's no way that these blocks were made by just some silly people who were just bored and just wanted to like carve holes in things. Um, I love Ancient Aliens. I also love many things like Star Wars, Star Trek, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, and have watched the show Psych. It's so funny. Susan, do you have a sister? Is she kind of cute? You got a sister, Susan? That's what I want. I want, if I ever get married again and grow old, I want to grow old with somebody and talk about some aliens and ancient archaeology. You know, I was too young when I got married the first time. I didn't know what I was doing. And we're still good friends. We are great friends. We still laugh and joke. She's remarried, love her husband. We're just the weirdest family, but we all get along. Um, but I want somebody to believe in some crazy stuff. I want to talk about my crazy. I don't want my wife to look at me like, you believe what? I don't want them to look at me like other people. Like this right here. I don't think that's a real UFO. But I could spend all day, y'all. I could sit here and click on these pictures and like look at it like, no, I don't believe that. Click it. I believe this. I don't believe that. I'm like, what is this? Like, this is deep. Like, look at these cuts right here. I believe those cuts are actually for metal pieces. This is what I believe. I believe that the cuts, and I don't know, this is Puma Punku, right? I believe that they made those cuts and it wasn't a design. I believe that there were metal pieces that go in those cuts and they link the blocks together. And it could be metals that did things, right? They could have been metals that were magnetized or whatever. And so all these structures are there. The first issues I have with Puma Punku is they only dig down 3 feet. So they don't know what's underneath it. So there could be all types of other blocks and technology. They're probably digging that up, but they're not going to tell us about that. But I think they all link together. I don't think they were just stone blocks. I don't think these were Stone Age people who just played with stone. I believe they had metals and those metals broke down over time. And now you got all these blocks with the missing pieces and the metal because it's going to do what it does. But to say that, it has to be very, very, very old. I think these things are millions of years old. So yeah, I didn't see Psych. I'm talking about being paranoid. I'm very social. I'm always connected with other humans, but humans are all different levels unless, I can't see the rest of it. Unless we love ourselves, we can't love anyone else. Yeah, and I agree with you. Yeah, I wasn't leaning towards paranoia. I think that um, you got to be careful. Like, I'm with you. You got to get your information though, because there are some human beings that are very violent. And no matter how much you love them, no matter how nice you are to them, they will mean you harm and they'll do you harm. So I think you definitely got to read a situation. You have to look and try to figure out, is this somebody I can approach? Is this somebody I can talk to? So you definitely got to do that. But I think the way I'm not a Dr. Phil fan. Maybe that kind of kicked in. I'm not a big Dr. Phil fan. I think Dr. Phil and Oprah have ended many marriages. I think a marriage is a thing that works well the way it works. Like, everybody's different. Everybody needs something different. And back when I used to watch that stuff, like in the 80s and stuff, early 90s, they were this is what works for everybody-ish. And nothing works for everybody ever. It's always different. But this was a time when we were, you'd have the psychologists produce the books telling you how to raise kids. And of course, kids, we know they all got to be raised in different ways. So maybe that kind of kicked in. But you look at this stuff and like, look at this cut right here. Like, this was a mistake or something. Like, they were playing with a laser, like it was a power tool or something. They were just having fun with it. They just made a crazy cut. Why would you, with a chisel and a hammer, sit there for 20 months and make this thing that has no purpose? Like, it's just the cut in a rock. Oh, I messed up, and move on. No, you'd make it work. But look at that. See, this is why you have to, and this is why I listen to Coast to Coast. You have to look at the stuff so you can like look at something, because you know it's fake, but somebody will look at it like, oh, look, see, the Egyptians had computers. They'll take it, to upload it, send it to their friends. I told you it's hieroglyph, and they won't know that it's fake. It's a Photoshop. Disinformation, and that's how we get in a lot of trouble. Is people they jump off and they don't like do a little research. Um, I'm on Facebook with 2,400, and I know a number of women that are single, and I'm and I want every kind of person all over. I know every kind of person. All no, I'm just kidding, Susan. I'm kidding. I'm not looking for nobody. I'm trying to save the world. I'm just trying to save the world. I'm just kidding. Plus, I get enough friend invites anyway, Susan. I get, oh my goodness. Woo! The booby girls are always looking for me. I always get the booby girl invites where you get the invite and you know the face is perfect. Guys we get these all the time. The face is perfect. They got boobies out and all kind of crazy stuff. And you know it's not a real person. You know it's not a woman. You're not real. You're a 17-year-old kid in a data center in Malaysia getting paid to do it and talk to you. And it's just sit there. They just want to like bog you down. It's, I know you ain't real, booby girl. Plus, plus my mama on Facebook. My conversation with my mother are longer than what they should be now already. Hour, 2 hours, we can talk for a long time. And she look at my friends list too, and she starts seeing booby girls on my face. Oh man, no, I don't need that kind of stress in my life. I don't need my mama seeing booby girls on my friend list. Um, so when I find them, I delete them. Some get through, because some they'll play with, and they'll get special pictures and that look like they're with the friends and stuff. And you think it's a real person, but it's not a real person. Um, you go with what you resonate with. Yes, absolutely. Um, be discerning. Yes, you got to be discerning. I think we used to be in tap with like being more discerning than what we ever have been, and I think we lost a lot of that. I think we outsourced discernment. We outsourced being able to read people, and we got to go back to being smart and being able to read people. Y'all remember this is the Baghdad battery? This is the one where they found that you can take a clay jar and put different chemicals in it and two wires, and it creates electric current. They think that that was used for, or it's a theory that they actually had lights, because you go into pyramids and different structures, and a lot of structures don't have burn marks from like char from fire, from torches. And so they think that maybe they actually had lights. And where's that picture at? I just passed it. There was a picture of the Egyptians walking, not walking, standing right here, where the big things they're holding in their hands are, they think they were light bulbs. It was a theory. I don't know. I think that came from Jason Martell. He looks at a lot of ancient archaeology and comes up with theories on ancient technology. So maybe that's what it was. Um, oh yeah, Crystal said, yeah, they asked for money. Yeah, because they'll do that. They'll like, oh, most of mine are Russian. Russia did do this one though. Russia did this one because the girls are Russian and they're like, oh, I'm stuck in the airport and I can't get out the airport. You got to send me some money or something. Like, oh, come on. I don't have time for this. There's a lot of people who are like scamming on the internet. I know somebody who actually sent $10,000 to somebody in Nigeria once. We got to be smarter than this. We got to be discerning. We got to go back to being smart and not trusting in the government. Oh, government, we need you to block Nigeria from sending friend requests. We're going to spend $20 million to get all our politicians to make a law so the Nigerians will stop sending us friend requests. No, that's not how this works. That's stupid. What you need to do is say, you know what? How about we just teach people, don't be stupid. Don't get scammed. Look at their profile. Realize they're not a real person. Tell them to call you on the phone. They can't call you on the phone. They're not a real person because her voice won't sound like the pretty girl in the picture. It'll be real deep and kind of sound like this. Make people smarter. Fix people. Stop getting laws and legislation to outsource common sense. We want the next generations to be smarter. Susan said, I'm real. I'm very honest and have tons of integrity. We'll have to talk on the phone. Anytime, sister. I always like a good conversation. Anytime. I love real people. Yes, I get those booby girl invites. You do too, Joe. And then but you know what, Joe? You get in trouble if you're not discerning with the booby girls. Because if you don't spot one, or if you're in a hurry and you hit accept, then she'll send, or I say she, it's not a she, it's probably a he, but they'll send invites to your friends, and your friends are like, oh, it's a friend of Joe's, must be okay. And you click on it, then you end up getting a virus or something. That's how it all works. And, you know, it's just, I do my best to filter them. But yeah, you slip up and you accept them. Oh, man, that'll be a headache. Um, you don't have to be with anyone. Enjoy your company. I'm not Susan, and I'm just enjoying my time. I'm just not in a rush. I'm just like living life. You know, I think when you look for love, I think that's when you fail. When you look for love, that's when you end up in these relationships where people they just hate everybody and hate everything because they're like constantly looking. And I think when you just live your life, the right people come along. Like I was having a good discussion with somebody this morning, and I won't say who because I don't put people on blast, the person in the room. And we were talking about how thought, like our thoughts aren't our own. Like, you know how you're just sitting there and you can't stop thinking? It's because they're not your thoughts. You know, whether it's God or microbiology or fungi or something is constantly putting thoughts in your head. And I think that when you trust those thoughts, you're being guided somewhere. You know, I think that's why people who do like meditation and yoga and things, they're in tap with something we're not. Like they have the ability to reduce those voices or those thoughts. And so your thoughts aren't corrupting what thoughts you're getting from your subconscious or another dimension or microbiology or God, whatever it is. And so you're more crisp and clear. You know your path in life. You know, and I think dreams and all of this stuff all works together like that, and it guides us to where we're supposed to be in life. And so for me, I trust in that. I just live my life and just things unfold as they will. You know, it's weird, but in my life, like there's a scripture that says when you're something about when you're on the right paths, everything will bear fruit, right? And if you're just following the right paths in life, things just work. If you're doing the right things, if you're with the right people, you know, your path bears fruit. And I think that's ancient wisdom, and I believe it's true. I think if you just live your life and you stop trying to force things, the world unfolds as it's supposed to. Your life unfolds very positively how it should. It's being driven by all this stuff that we can't understand, whether they're omnipotent creatures or whatever. You know, if it's microbiology, if it's an omnipotent creature, it knows more than you. So it knows where your life should go. So listen to that thing. If it's microbiology, they're older than you. They've been here for 15 billion years. They're in touch with the other universes, right? We know cellular intelligence is real. It is a thing. So it's in tap with all these other things that we aren't. So just trust in that path, I think, and you just kind of keep going that way. Um, I just delete them invites, especially if I don't have a lot on their page. Yeah, that's what I do, Joe. Like what I'll do is I'll click on their page. And if I see it's just a bunch of guys liking their pictures and I see a whole bunch of like selfies and stuff that I realize it's either not a real person or if it's some sort of clickbait into something where they make money or they're trying to get you a virus, a social media STD, or you click on the thing and you get the malware. Nah, I don't need any of that. You know, I use my mental condom and I look at the page. It doesn't look like a real person. I just hit unfriend. Um, I have hearing problems and can't hear very well on the phone, but I'm real. Okay, Elizabeth, we know you're real, girl. We were just talking about booby girls. We're not gonna talk about Joe was. I wasn't talking about Elizabeth. That was Joe. Talking about booby girls. You need to stop it. Um, I get booby guys too, though. Just don't think it's not just booby. I get everything. I get all kind of, Rico Suave, and I get all of that stuff. They come in, the same thing. I look at the pay. Oh no, it's not a real person. And every now and then, I think I might offend somebody. If I ever unfriended you, it's because I didn't know. Like what I'm looking for right now, I guess in friends on social media, I'm looking for people I can learn from. I'm looking for people who want to have discussions and talk. I look for people who y'all call weird, right? Y'all don't, but I look for people who are different because they can teach me. I don't want to stay in my own little indoctrinated head. And so people who look real but weird, I'll click on their page, and I enjoy posts by weird people because it exposes me to more than just people like me. Um, let me see. All right, Christine, have to watch it later. Yeah, we're just talking. We're just sitting here having fun. I'll probably go in a little bit, but for right now, we're just talking. Getting grounded with the earth will make will help make clear your thoughts. Yeah, that's and I believe that, Crystal. I think there's something about the magnetism of the earth. There's something about the microbiology. There's something about sand between your toes, and it gets you in contact. It's weird. I was having a conversation the other day about it, and I was like thinking, I wonder if wearing shoes is like contributing to why people are crazy and they're not grounded. I wonder if like not touching plants and not touching the earth, but sheltering your feet from soil, because it's something we've always been in contact with. Like throughout the majority of our evolution, we've been walking around in dirt. We've always been connected. And so it could be, I don't know, just wild theory I throw out there that our brains actually need the vibrations or the energy that comes from the earth from being in contact with it possibly. And the fact that we wear shoes, we're not as in contact with the earth as possible. And maybe that gets to what is that movie? Avatar, where everything's all connected. And maybe we're still connected in some ways, but not in all the ways we were. And maybe a lot of the problems we have are due to that. I don't know. Um, so I think getting grounded is a thing. I think you should be in the dirt. And that is my philosophy on a lot of things. If we evolve doing it, then we evolve probably to need it or thrive on it or be used to it, and your body still needs it. So it's important to get out in the dirt, sit in the mud. Now I don't sit in the mud, but get out in the dirt, get grounded. Um, Let me see. So else are we talking about? Because y'all are driving this. We're just talking. Uh, our thoughts and dreams are very powerful. Susan, I think thoughts and dreams are majorly powerful. I believe as a software engineer, I always put things in a mindset that I can understand or that what I would do. If I were a genetic engineer and I made these human mammal things, I would put in a way to do software updates, right? Because if this is my experiment, I don't want the thing to die. I understand that the cataclysms is the default on this planet. I wouldn't want them to kill each other. So I would put in a way to control them and drive them. And this gets into like the pineal gland and, all the ancient texts talking, about interpreting dreams. I think in our dreams, we're being guided, right? Like I think we go to sleep and it's a software update, it's a download where it needs us to be more empathetic. It needs us to call Aunt Julian because she's going to die next month. It needs us to be kinder to our neighbors. Like it drives us, like how like Nikola Tesla and Edgar Casey and them used to go to sleep and they would learn things. I think it works that way. And I think it's constantly downloading information to us. And so I think when you wake up and you remember your dream, I think the software had a glitch at that time, and you somehow remember it. You're not supposed to. It's supposed to just go programmed into your subconscious because of how the conscious and the subconscious works. That the conscious is what you're thinking, but the subconscious, it's what's driving. I think those are downloads that go to our subconscious, but somehow we're tapping into them with our conscience. And if you interpret the dreams, you can actually see what's being downloaded in your brain. I believe crazy stuff, girl. I don't add. If you ask me stuff like that, you get. I don't know what I believe. Like, that's the wrong word. I think. I know that we don't know anything about this planet, our bodies, or anything. And the more that we philosophize and we put out our thoughts, the more other people hear them too, and we kind of that makes sense. But what if we took this away? And I think we get smarter if we theorize more than we pretend we know everything. So I don't know. I like to theorize about things. It's a little crazy. um, I think there is something to being grounded. Gerard, and not being so distracted by the matrix. You got to be grounded. You can't, yeah, you can't let this stuff drive you crazy, politics and the matrix. You have to process, I think, that none of this really is real. Like from a biological perspective, the things you see aren't actually real. All of this is energy. Like the white wall, it's actually not white. It's just the way the light hits the wall and it reflects in your 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 um your eyeball. I forgot what it's called. Your eye, your retina, and it's reversed. It actually is upside down where it goes and hits your brain. And your brain, it processes what it thinks it looks like. And that's why they have these images online where they like play tricks with your mind to make the image look like it's further away or closer, but it's not, or it's a different color, but it's not, because your brain is constantly upgrading. It's constantly trying to figure out what you're looking at. Like the stuff we see isn't even real. And so, that's why, I don't know. I think it's interesting to pay attention to the matrix, but don't let it drive you. Don't let it guide you. None of this is real. I like to know that I'm in the Truman Show and nobody actually is real. This is just the Truman Show. It's the Gerard Show. Nobody's real. And, y'all are like sitting behind monitors. And actually, you are right now, which is really weird. But just wondering what I'm going to do next, to say next. And so something happens in Syria and I react, and a politician says that and I react. But I don't get bent out of shape out of it. I think when you get bent out of shape, if this is real, you can't let it drive you nuts. If you let what they're doing in like Yemen and these places drive you nuts and you just focus on it, you'll go crazy to a point where you won't even be effective in changing anything. I think we're effective in modifying things. I don't know, we change a lot because we're all talking online and we're sharing ideas and we're becoming collectives, and we're not falling into the narratives anymore, and we're backing away from politicians and stuff like that. So I think the matrix wants you to focus on the matrix. And I think we have to be smart enough to not do what that 0.01% in this like matrix world they built. We don't want to focus too hard on that. We need to gotta step away. You gotta breathe. And for me, that's archaeology, it's conspiracy theories and aliens and like theorizing what in the world is all this all about. Kathleen is saying, I love that theory. I wear shoes only when absolutely necessary, but never be praised for that. I have never been praised for it. Yeah, Kathleen, they won't praise you for dirty feet, girl. No, it's not gonna happen. I've been waiting for years for somebody to praise my dirty feet. Nobody praises them. I just used to get in trouble, get spankings and stuff. But no, I think dirty feet are good because dirty feet aren't smelly feet. Smelly feet actually are clean feet. You get like athlete's foot when you use all these soaps and stuff, and your natural microbiology don't fight the fungus, and so it thrives and it makes your shoes and your socks stink. So dirty feet and funky feet aren't the same thing. Slightly different. You should have dirty feet because it'll stop the funky feet. And if you got athlete's foot, you should go to the beach more, go out in the mud and the dirt and put your feet in them, and microbiology that kill that fungi will thrive and start to live inside your foot and you and fight it off. But when you take all these antibiotics and all this stuff, it kills off your natural ability to fight the funk. It's the same thing with armpits. We want the funk. Take me to Parliament Funkadelics. It's the same thing with underarm odor. Your body has natural microbiology that kill the odor causing bacteria. But when you use Right Guard and all this deodorant that kill off that microbiology, they don't do their job so well. So now you got to wear the deodorant every day. I don't wear deodorant every day. I know that sounds bad, doesn't it? I once dated a woman. She said, I don't wear deodorant every day. I was like, oh, we're not going to date long. But when you have a natural biosphere, natural biological processes in your body, and you don't kill all that off with all the chemicals that companies sell in these products, your body actually takes care of a lot of this stuff on its own. That's why I'm a big holistic person, because bodies actually know what they're doing. Your doctor actually doesn't know what they're doing. That's why they're called a practice. Love them to death. Sometimes, hey, but doctors will save your life. I'm not an anti-doctor person. They'll save your life. But when it comes to get rid of athlete's foot and funky underarms, and they suck at it. That's probably why I'm single, because I got dirty feet. Let me see. Contemplate this, my friend, that I met I met on Facebook 4 years ago, and we talk about all kinds of things. And she meditates, and brings, she bings. I'm not sure bings. She brings. She was looking for one. Oh, she was looking for one of her tree trunks in her yard, and started to see the tree trunk as waves of energy. I believe the energy is the true reality of everything. I agree. I agree, Susan, and it scares the hell out of me. You know why? Because I think crazy people, when they see things, I believe those things are actually there. I believe, and your friend probably just had some sort of solar spectrum, something clicked in the brain, and she actually saw what's actually there. Like if you're just sitting in the house and your dog jumps up and starts barking and there's nothing there, oh, there's something there. There's something there. That's another reason I love Coast to Coast. They talk about ghosts and stuff. I believe all of that. There's something there. Um, we don't see it. We're not in tune with it. And so I totally I when crazy people when they're talking and having a conversation with, yeah, Bob, you know, but okay, you're gonna do that. All right, yeah, with Grim Reaper standing right here. Oh, yeah, saying you next. I'm like, oh Lord. I had to write some notes, make my will out. I think there's so much there that we don't know. I think it's all energy. We just aren't tuned in. Because all things are energy, right? Matter, everything is energy. And so if it's all energy and it's being just displaced between multi dimensions or whatever, things pop up and disappear all the time and we don't see them. Things phase in out of our dimension, but we don't see it because maybe we can't see that energy at that wavelength. So I totally think that's possible. I think there's stuff happening around us all the time that we just don't know anything about. And some people are more in tune with it than others. Like I got a lot of friends who are very spiritual. You know, you would call them witches or whatever, but um, they're in tune with these things, and I don't think they're nuts. I think they are. A lot of them are actually in tune with things, and we're not. And we like to deny things and fight over things because we haven't seen it, we don't understand it, we don't know it, and we want people to think that we know, and we just really don't know. That's why I don't deny anything. I don't. If I'm with a crazy friend, he starts shaking, we gotta run, the monster's coming. I'm running. I'll be scared as hell. Susan, I'm a run. I'm gonna run. I am very easy to scare. I'm good to go. I don't have to sit here and question anything. I don't believe anything I see. Um, so everything is energy and vibrations. Yes, Crystal, everything is energy and vibrations. I believe that's so to be true, which is probably how they moved all those ancient megaliths. They knew how to control the energy or the vibration of them, and maybe they touched them with something and they phased out of this particular dimension partially. So it was only the block that's 2,000 tons only weighed 2 pounds, and they just lifted it up because it's only part of it is in this dimension, and they carried it over to the pyramid and they put it down, and it rephased back in, and it's heavy again. And because we don't have that technology to do it anymore, or we don't have the ability, we don't have the scrolls to teach us how to think, or the meditation, or the vibration sound to make that happen to that block, we don't know how to move it. And so that's why they're ripping all this ancient archaeology to shreds all over the planet, because they're trying to find something like Hitler was that they can't find, which all brings us back to Antarctica, which is why we can't go to Antarctica, because they're looking for all the devices of the scrolls or whatever that teach them how to do that, because the 0.01%, they want to run the world, and they want to kill off the 0.01%, the 0.11%. So it's just the 0.01% and zero 0.9, something like that. But they're always trying to take over something. I think they want that technology. Look up quantum communication. It's absolutely fascinating. I'll have to take a look at that. My husband did computer work for many years. He isn't a social person, but plays online games in space, connects with people all over the planet. Yeah, yeah. So we got that in common. We got that geek thing. Your husband and I kind of alike, except for the game part. I don't play games anymore. To me, this is my game. I think I like this whole just talking on the internet, talking to people and learning things. That's more fun to me. Although I will play a game every now and then. I've got boys and they want to play a game. When they want to play a game, we'll sit and play like old strategy games and stuff. Um, Oh, y'all are sending friend requests. That's so awesome. I love that. Yes, please, people, send friend requests. Thank you, Susan. Y'all get to know each other. Send friend requests. Don't just be my friend. If a person is my friend, I'm gonna tell you, 99% of my friends are solid people. They're just good to the heart, solid people. You can learn a lot from anybody on my friend list. 1% crazy is all hell. Don't send them no friend request. And I don't know who they are all the time. Some go in and out of crazy and back. But if you talk to somebody on a thread somewhere, make a friend with the person and learn something. That's how we build a community. Plus, one day some of us gonna disappear, and when they disappear us, y'all. Hopefully, y'all still friends, and y'all can come try to find us. We gonna be in Antarctica. They're gonna put us in a prison, a new Guantanamo. It's gonna be in Antarctica. Why we can't go there? And they're gonna put us all down there. And if y'all are friends, y'all can say, "Whatever happened to that crazy Gerard guy?" Y'all are friends. Y'all say, "We gotta find him. We gotta start a protest." They done disappeared him. Or I end up shooting myself or something like, oh, he committed suicide. Like, no, he didn't. We know him because he wouldn't commit suicide. He doesn't believe the FBI is real anyway. He thinks y'all are like a white paint wall. The white color's not really there. It's just a figment of his imagination. So there's no way he'd kill himself over no deep state. He doesn't believe none of this. He crazy. Oh, goodness. That's cool. I'm glad y'all are making friends with each other. That's awesome. Yeah, politicians aren't real. I don't believe them. I don't believe the things they say aren't real, Susan. So how could politicians be real? They're not real. I don't believe none of them. That's why I laugh at them all the time. Y'all crazy. Y'all not real. Don't you stop it. Move. You're not there. The Matrix, I believe, is unreal. I don't think this Matrix is real. I think this is crazy. None of this is here. Low vibe politics, man-made religion, sports, Hollywood, and so many other things, education, I believe, have nothing to do with reality at all. Susan, that's the only thing we slightly disagree on. I think all of that stuff has like religion. I believe in religions. I just don't think that they know it all. I think ancient archaeology and religions, they all got bits and pieces of it. But I agree. But I think we agree. I think but the religion as it is today, it's not real. It's not what the gods, whoever they are, wanted those people to believe, which is why the religions say, like the Bible talks about, study to show thyself approved, like you're supposed to study. There could, because they were ancient. And then in Jeremiah it said, because some things won't be revealed to the end of time, which means you're not supposed to sit there and just be stupid in your own little group, and that man will always try to change these religious books to control you. They'll always preach certain things to get you to vote the way they want. They'll always, which is why you got to be an individual and a critical thinker. You don't want to be in group mentality. I am a Christian, mainly because, like I said, some things happened in my life in a church, and there was a creature that was there. If it was human, it had some inhuman abilities. Blows my mind every time. My ex-wife and I, anytime we talk about it, we flip out. But because I was in a Christian church, that I'm Christian and I believe, some of those things, but my beliefs are like for me. They're not for you. Like, I don't force my beliefs on anyone, because what I believe, it changes almost every day. It changes, it modifies all the time. And so it's not something to make other people like me. I just think that you don't want to make a religion a man-made tool of force. Like, that's when I think it stops being a religion. And most people who are probably Christian and Muslim in the mainstream type religions, they're just tools for the people who run those things to get them to do something to somebody else. Like, you look at the Crusades and how they convince a lot of people that what's happening with Israel and Palestine are good. It goes against everything Christ taught. It goes against everything God taught, to steal people's lands and murder them and hurt children. But they go along with it because they're not individual thinkers. And I think people have to be critical thinkers, but also accept that none of these books, and this is my belief, none of these books are written by a God. All of the books are written by a man, and men always make mistakes. And so anytime somebody wants me to agree that I need to force somebody else to do something else because a book says so, I think they're crazy. I think they're crazy, and I walk away from stuff like that because I'm gonna miss a bunch of comments, but I got to move down because y'all are having a conversation way down here without me. I was too high up in my comments. I'm gonna go a few more minutes, then I'm gonna shut down. I'm having fun. I don't want to go anywhere, but I don't want to be boring, and I don't want to get to a point where y'all, people like falling asleep. Like I can have, I can have just half the people just sleep just watching. I'm drinking my coffee. I need to eat breakfast today. I got to eat some breakfast. But and that's another thing. Listen to your body. A lot of mornings I don't eat breakfast till like 2 o'clock. It's 2 o'clock now. I eat when my body says I'm hungry. And if my body doesn't say I'm hungry, I don't eat. Like that's how you get to be overweight. As you let authoritarians tell you you have to eat 3 meals a day, and you eat 3 meals a day, then you gain weight and your body doesn't work how it's supposed to. When you're hungry, eat. When you're not hungry, don't eat. Never eat till you're full. Just eat till you're satisfied. Like these are real simple things I never really understood until I had smart friends. I never got it. My weight used to bounce around all the time. But now I listen to these wise people, and I listen to my body as much as possible. I'm very healthy. It's scary how healthy I am. My body actually works how it's supposed to. I wish I were smart and I knew how and why. I don't. It's just I know smart friends, and that's why I say make friends with people that aren't like you, and they'll teach you something. Like I have friends that, like I said, they do the spiritual thing, and I watch their live streams all the time, and I'm trying to, understand what they know that I don't know, because there are a lot of things I don't believe, but I want to know what they know. I sent you a friend request on my Facebook. Friends posted your live Facebook today, and that's how I found you today. Thank you, Susan. I'm so happy you did. I can't wait to be your friend. I love how your mind thinks already. Um, yeah, I like to have a lot of friends. That's how you learn things. And I appreciate my friends posting the videos and sharing. I don't know if you want to share this one. This is like, how long? We've been on here about 4 hours, y'all. I don't know how long. I don't know if you want to share this one. This is a long one. But I guess there are people like me, long doesn't bother me. To me, it's like a conversation. Like we're having a business meeting to me. Like this is world business. We're talking and we're just having a conversation and we're building things up. I hate I don't mind having a topic and talking about it, but to me, it doesn't do me any good. Like I can like watch something or read something or I learn something from one of my friends and I can share it with everybody, but it's stupid to me. Like I'm not learning anything if I'm just talking. So I love long live streams because that's where I learn. Like I can listen to y'all and read more and spend more time like really thinking about what you're talking about. Otherwise, I get dumber and dumber, and you don't want to see me get dumber. It's going to get real bad. So maybe I have to figure out a way. Maybe I'll have a certain time where we just go live and I don't have anything prepared, nothing I want to talk about, and I just let you guys drive the discussion. And then other times where I have more prepared things. But I think most people, they want 15 minutes. They want to watch something and be done with it and they're gone. Other people will sit in long and like they want to have a discussion. So I think there are different types of people. And I think at different times. Sometimes I do want to see something quick. I got things I have to do and I go. Other times, like today, I need to fix the hot water heater, but y'all got me in such a good discussion. I need to go down and fix the hot water heater, and I know I've been talking about this hot water heater for like 3 weeks now. I haven't fixed it yet. Cold water, it's changing my life. Shrinkage, but we won't go there. But yeah, like I'll go work on something, or I'm planting some seeds, or I'm doing something, and I'll hit play, and I'll see who's live, and I'll put it on, and I'll turn the volume up, and I'm working on stuff, and I'm just listening. So I guess it all depends on what I'm doing. If I'll sit in for a long one, and sometimes I'll log in and I'll watch a little bit, log out, come back in, watch something else late, or catch up with the rest of it. Crystal thinks this all could be a simulation. It could be. There's that theoretical physicist who said that looking at, what was he looking at? I don't know if he was Crystal, if he was looking at DNA, he was looking at something, and he said that it resembles code, right? It resembles computer code. That the universal language in the universe is math, and because it's mathematics, that this probably is a simulation on a computer somewhere. That maybe we are in the matrix. You know what, Crystal? I believe some crazy stuff. I believe that a lot of the thoughts that we have or producers have and directors and people who write stories and books, I think that maybe they're in tune. These things are actually being downloaded when they go to sleep, and they wake up and they have ideas for stories, and it is this omnipotent ancient thing or microbiology trying to warn us that we are sitting in the matrix tube. Where the matrix tubes at? If you haven't seen the movie The Matrix, what do they call it? The Matrix, where they plug people in. I want to call them two pods, maybe. I have to show you, otherwise I'm talking, you won't know what I'm talking about. People who haven't seen the movie, right here, like the Matrix pods, like they look like this, and they put people in them, and so maybe microbiology is trying to tell us this. Maybe it's Morpheus, Crystal. Maybe it's Morpheus on the other side, and they're all trying to communicate with us and let us know, like, listen, y'all are in the matrix, you got to come out. Maybe it's not a big ship where they go in and we get unplugged and fall down the tube and end up in all the vomit goo of bacteria of people breaking down. Oh, that's just nasty in the matrix, and they pulled them out of the decaying fluid that they feed back. Maybe it's just our friends who are outside of the matrix, and they're trying to tell us, listen, you're in a simulation, y'all need to come out. So I think maybe the producers in Hollywood get these communications and they let us know, listen, you're in the matrix. You need to wake up, wake up, wake up. And they make a movie called The Matrix that tells us we're in a simulation, in a matrix. I don't know. Oh, that made my head hurt. That's disgusting too. If I'm in the matrix and I got to slide down a tube and end up in a biology pool of breaking down human beings that they regurgitate and feed back to other people, don't wake me. Don't wake me up, y'all. Leave me sleep. Do not wake me up. Let me stay happy in the matrix eating the steak. Because if I got to go down a slide and end up in a pool of decaying flesh to be free, I don't want to be free. I don't want to be free. I'm happy, mommy, right where I am. I don't want to be free. Leave me. Oh, gosh. Somebody said that the other day. Oh, if you ever get out the matrix, come find me. Don't find me. If that's the way to get out, don't do that. If you can press some buttons and I just wake up like, damn, the universe is really jacked up. You know, we don't have the food, don't taste good. Okay, wake me up. But if I got to do that, no. Because you know what? Because I'm not going to make it anyway. If y'all wake me up and I get flushed down the tube like a toilet, and I'm waking up, what happened? And I'm like sliding down the slide like toward death. I'm gonna die anyway. I'm just gonna have a heart attack. I'm gonna die before I even hit the goo of decaying toe jam and juice. I'm not gonna make it. So don't. It's useless to wake me. It's useless. All right. The Bible says, "Follow God, not man." It's why I believe in God, not religion. Religion of old times are probably better than now. Yeah, I agree with you, Joe. And I think you and I think alike when it comes to that. I don't follow men, and I do think that most religions you're just following men, or they're people who are worshiping a book, and that's not what God wants. God doesn't want you to worship a book. I was looking to see, is there a picture of the goo? That's so nasty. I don't want to see the goo. But yeah, so like this. So this is what it was. Like human beings were born and they were plugged in. You got to watch The Matrix if you haven't seen The Matrix. They were plugged in. And so the only purpose for human beings is that they were just heat. They were warming the planets. Because one day there was a guy named Jeff Bezos, and and he made AI and they put it in robots and they took over the planet, and they just took human beings and they put them in these pods. And so most human beings were just like, they were batteries, and the rest of the human beings went under the earth, and they were trying to wake everybody up. It's a spoiler alert, but I have to say, if I didn't say it, you wouldn't know what I was talking about. But I think that could be real. I think that totally could be real. But don't wake me. Don't do it. I'm gonna stay asleep. Um, yeah. Where else? I gotta pan down. I'm sorry if I miss a bunch of comments because I want to try to keep up with the room discussion. Um, Already shared. Yes, a conversation with human being friends. Yes, thank you, Joe. You always do. Certainly appreciate that. Um, that's how we make friends. It's rare to find real honest people, Gerard. It, you know, it is, Susan, but I think it's my fault. I think it's my fault. It's hard to find honest people. I like to blame myself for a lot because I think it's the Truman Show, and if people are jacked up, it's because I'm not doing my job. I think I think I think we got to work on making people more honest. I think it's hard to find honest people because we're not the best we can be. I think we got to work on bringing out the honesty in people. I think when we're honest, it helps other people be more honest. And so I always say we, and I get in trouble when I say we because people say don't say we. It's not we, it's them. We're waking up, they're not. But I say we because I think as a society, if this isn't the Truman Show, if this ain't the Gerard Show, and all of y'all are just like software interacting with me because it's funny, y'all like picking with me, saying things, see what I say next, like I'm a little monkey in a zoo. But if it is real, I think we exist as a collective, and when we show more honesty and we show people that we can be wrong, then I think other people feel comfortable that it's okay to be wrong too. And if they're wrong and we're wrong, then we can have these honest discussions. So I think we have to work harder to make people more honest. And it starts with us. You are the one that highlights of my day. Oh, thank you, Terry. I appreciate it. You guys are the highlight of my day too. I get my day like you wouldn't believe it. Like I get my day started in this crazy world, and the only thing that helps me to get through my day is I can talk to you guys, and you make me realize I'm not crazy. Like I'm not the only one, and we can share these thoughts like that. That actually is how that's how I laugh. It's kind of become that, which is why I get sad when Facebook shut me down. Y'all don't put me in no Facebook jail. I don't do nothing. I'm not explicit. They say I'm not explicit. I didn't say nothing about the loincloth. That was Crystal. Crystal and Mary. I didn't say nothing about the giant loincloth should come off. If somebody joined late, they're talking about what he's talking about. I'm putting them on blast. It wasn't me, Facebook. Look, we were looking at this right here. We were looking at the giant, and they was being nasty, y'all. They said they wanted the Giants loincloth to come off. I didn't say that. They said that. And we proved that's a fake video because if you watch the guy's head came out of the Giant's crotch. So we know this is a Photoshop, right? Hold on. Wait, go back. We know it's not real. Right around there. Anyway, right there. Like just like the guy, he appears, and so the Giant's foot can't be there. And I was trying to break it down and be real and say, like, looking at a video and processing that it's a fake video. And they just went right to like they didn't see the Giant. Nasty people. They didn't see the Giant. They didn't see his head. They didn't see his arm. They like I'm looking at his legs and stuff. I'm like, this is a big dude. Like he's got big arms and muscles and everything. He has breastises, big strong breastises. And I'm looking at the crowd. I'm trying to process, is it a real video fake? They didn't go there, y'all. They went straight to the Ooh, they went right to the tally knacker. That wasn't me, so don't call me explicit. I'm not explicit. Um, Let me see. The conversations are relaxing. Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. I think they're relaxing too. In fact, I like to. That's why I like pictures and backgrounds. They make me feel peaceful. Procrastinator. I'm supposed to be pulling weeds right now. Crystal, how are you pulling weeds? It's snow. Oh, yeah, you must be in a warm state. There's no weeds outside. There is no gardening happening here. And it's still snowing. It's still snowing. We were supposed to get 12 inches yesterday, and it stopped this morning around 6 inches. So I thought it was done. Now it's snowing again. So now there's probably about 8 inches out there. But I'm procrastinating too. I'm supposed to be working on the hot water heater. I'm not doing that because I'm having fun. I'm just talking. We're having a good and hitting on all these topics. So I'm having fun with that. I'm procrastinating. I got stuff to do. But there's a time and place for everything. You gotta know when to hold 'em, know when to fold. I'm gonna start singing. Know when. No, I can't. I'm gonna walk away. Know when to run. You never count your money. When you're sitting, they're like, what the hell is he singing, young people? It's Kenny Rogers, y'all. You got to know when to hold him. You have to know when to work, and you got to know when to play. You got to know when to be serious, and you got to know when to laugh. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. You never count your bank account when you're living in this world. There'll be time enough for counting when you're dead and buried in the ground, right? Like, it was just so wise what he put into the words of that song. You do. And right now, I know I'm just relaxing. I'm not going to go work on the hot water heater. I might feel inclined to in 10 minutes. And if I feel inclined to, I will. If I don't, I won't. I'll be sitting here talking, running my mouth. Right now, I still got a few friends they're talking. So that's why I'm still talking. Brother Andrew, welcome to the house, Andrew. What's up, man? I got followed by Method Man's recording studio last night. I got signed. I'm gonna give you a shout out on one of my tracks. Awesome, Andrew. I didn't know that. I had no idea you were a rapper. That's awesome, man. Congratulations. When you be famous, when you get big and famous, Andrew, remember the little people. Always remember the little people, Andrew. Don't ever get so big that you don't, run back and take care of us. Don't ever become a billionaire and keep the money in your bank account, Andrew. When you become a billionaire, let that money out. Let it free the people. And that's how we know you're not a psychopath. Let that money, if you just keep $1 billion in the bank while people are dying because they don't have it, then you're going to be a psychopath. Said, good for me that I can fix things. My husband was always very capable. However, he had polio. And when he has when he was 4 and 69, now he has a lot of physical issues. Okay. Well, I think it just depends on when you were raised and who you were raised by, right? Being raised, my father, I just always saw him working on stuff. Like, I think as a kid, you look at your parents, and your parents, they play such an instrumental role in who you become. If you're born in a family and your parents are constantly fighting, as kids, you're recording that. It doesn't mean you'll become that, but you're recording it. Like, because your parents, to you, they're gods. And so you're looking up at them. And if they're always fighting, you think, well, when I become a parent and I become married, I'm supposed to fight with my wife. And that's what they do. I saw my father, he was always fixing something. If it broke, he fixed it. Our bikes, if they broke, we fixed them. If they got scratched, we painted them. If the inner tube popped, we sealed it. If the chain fell off, we put it back on. If the toaster stopped working, I would take it apart and try not to electrocute myself. Like, I learned early how to electrocute myself, but I always was working on things. Like, growing up, the adults were so capable. My uncles, they were always fixing things. They were always talking about fixing things. And so to me, in my world, you're supposed to fix things. You're supposed to be capable. You're not supposed to be dependent on government or contractors or whatever. And it's not that I don't hire contractors to do anything. I do. I believe in small business and helping local, but I think you're supposed to fix everything you can. And certain things get to a point where you let other people fix them. But I live in this weird place where I want to be able to help people. If I'm not capable, I can't help them. So, I'm always working on things. And now we have YouTube. Back then, we didn't have YouTube. You couldn't go out and do a search how to fix a hot water heater. And so I want to know how to fix it in case one day I can't just pick up the phone and call a contractor, so I know how to do it. And plus, if it's just replacing a thermostat and it's 2 screws, you can do it. You know what it's like I see it, when I first saw women cutting grass, growing up, I never saw that. But when I first seeing them, and I'm just like, oh, that's horrible. The husband's not around. The boyfriend's not cutting the grass for him. Like, what's wrong with y'all? Y'all crazy. But there are women who just want to be capable. Same thing. They want to do it. Like, sometimes there are women who go in the military because they want to prove to themselves they can do it, or they know how to do it. These are things stereotypically that only men do. Stereotypically only mechanics do. But if you go do it, learn that you can change your oil, then now you're capable. You know how to do it. Maybe you do it the first time, you say, I'll never want to do it again, which is fine. but at least you know how to do it. So if in case you ever had to do it, stuck on the road or something, you could do it. Or if you have to walk somebody on how to do it on the phone. Joe said, life is but a dream. Yes. Crystal said, God is a mathematician. I believe that to be true. Welcome, Mary. How are you doing? Art imitating life or life imitating art? Too deep for me, Mary. You got me on that one. I'm not sure. It might have been something I was talking about 20 minutes ago. I'm behind in the comments. I'm trying to catch up. Man-made religion, sports, Hollywood, education, vaccinating. I'm with you. These are things of the matrix. If it's man-made, you know, stay a little bit back from it. Because I think religion is man-made. I think that's kind of interesting, Susan. Religion is man-made. I think there is a way that the world works. There are different people who disagree on how it works and what created all of this, and they segment themselves into things called religion. To me, science, physics, microbiology, God, religion, all of it, to me, it's the same thing. You just have a lot of, it's called reality. You just have a lot of people who disagree on what that reality is based on different things, different ancient people translated it in observing what they thought it was. So I agree with you. Religion is man-made. There is a way that things work. And either you are a person who seeks to understand reality and how things work, or you aren't. And that's why, like I said, I have a loose relationship to Christianity because it's how I was indoctrinated and brought up. But I don't have any confusions that the seekers of science and the seekers of whatever group or whatever thing I think I am, it's the exact same thing. When science proves something, I go with it. Like, I don't say, no, the Bible says something different. No, because Abraham, when he saw it, he said the earth was square, so it has to be square. It has four corners, you know. No, I don't do that. Science proved that wrong. Let's keep moving. You know, study to show thyself approved. But I don't think people think that way. And I want more people, I hope more people get to a place and think that way. Yeah, ignorance is bliss. Yes, Crystal, and that's what it is people, that ignorance, if they live in it, it's comforting, right? And that's a really, really bad way to be. It's really bad for humanity, because if we're not getting smarter, it means we're getting dumber. And every day we get dumber, the world, the earth, asteroids are getting closer. They're trying to kill us. We got to get smarter, not dumber. Gerard, which pill would you take, the red or the blue? That's Susan. Like I said, depends. It depends. Do I land in poop? Do I go down the slide and land? If I go down the slide, land in poop, I'm on the blue pill, girl. We just don't wake me up. That's really what it comes down. It depends on how painful. I don't care how hard the world is when you wake me up. I'm good with a hard world. I just don't want to start my day in in that. That's all. It's painful waking up. Yeah, it is painful waking up. It's painful every day, but it gets less painful. I think you'll agree. It was hard for me to wake up and like shatter my glass indoctrination houses, but slowly over time, like I'll probably say once a week, something to me gets shattered. Some fallacy that I had gets shattered because one of my friends teaches me something new. But every time it hurts less and less. And it's great too, because that waking up process, it's a lifestyle. I don't think anybody's ever woke. It really teaches you to be humble. It really teaches you how little you really know. And I think people trust you more when you're humble and you admit you don't. And this is the honesty thing that we just talked about. And I think that's how we make more honest people, is we show that we are honest. So waking up is hard initially, which is why a lot of people don't do it. You're shattering their glass house. But as they start to wake up, when the people who really do want to know the truth about reality, it gets easier and easier and easier. And I think you care less and less and less. Not that you care less, but the more you wake up, the more you realize how little we are in control of everything, and you don't worry about it so much. It doesn't drive you crazy. You don't get anxiety. You just kind of release it, and you trust in how the universe is unfolding or whatever's happening. Andrew worships the dictionary. I'm good with that. No matter what, I'm good with that. Whatever religion you are, as long as there's a lot of true stuff in it, then we compare it with everything else and we figure things out. Religion is better kept in an individual space. Absolutely, Joyce. Because I don't think anybody has the same religion. I honestly don't. I think that people, they call it the same name, but I think most people actually believe something a little different. So I don't think there is any such thing as a religion and everybody agrees the same thing. And so I agree with it. It should be an individual space. It's not something that you write laws for and you force on people. The only thing from religion I think that has any place in legislation or like outside of individuality is like the rules for existence. Don't kill people, don't steal from people, don't take people's lands, I think those basic things, and I think in time they don't have to exist after we have enough generations of putting common sense back in kids, and because kids, everybody's knowing the difference from right and wrong, even that'll go away. Like you won't even think about murder. Like, why would you hurt somebody? And the evidence is that is the bonobos and the chimps we talked about, how the bonobos evolved to be peaceful and the chimps evolved to be violent, but they have the same genetics. So in the future, we won't need it. Like a bonobo doesn't need to know what murder is. It doesn't need a thou shalt not murder law legislation because they don't murder. There's been never a documented case of a bonobo in the wild or in captivity ever killing one another. So we know these things can go away. So I agree. And religion is completely an individual space. Talk about it, but don't force it on anybody. Leave self-determination up to people. Leave free will up to people, which is what the God thing said. Leave free will up to people. You have free will. I'm gonna have to skip down. I'm gonna miss a bunch of comments, but I fall behind the room because this thing doesn't follow the comments. Facebook isn't real either and controlled by the Matrix. That is very true. Susan, everything is in the bloom. Everything is in bloom in Georgia. I love snow. Not that much though. Lots of laughter. I grew up in Massachusetts. Ooh, you grew up in an inhumanly cold place. That's like a lot of my friends in Vermont. It's too cold for me. That's wonderful. I guess you guys are already into spring. That's why Crystal got to go pull weeds, I guess, because it's springtime. It's definitely not spring here. I'm watching people slipping and sliding and falling outside. Well, I'm not. I'm watching one guy, but it's still snowing. That's why I'm here. I'm the only one in my small real world that wants to talk about anything but very safe surface topics. Lots of hypocrisy too, and especially people my age. Yeah, Kathleen, and they're all ages. And they're all ages. Silly people are all ages, and they'll drive you crazy. They'll drive you crazy if you let your family and your friends who are lost in the matrix try to keep you, because the matrix always wants you to stay, right? Misery loves company. They don't want you to wake up and grow up. Let me get this giant tallyknacker away from me. Hold on. Close. I got to delete. They got this big old tallyknacker. I'm trying to talk. People are like, what the hell is he doing? It's a diaper. But misery loves company, and people who believe the Washington Post want you to believe it too. People who believe Fox News want you to believe it too. People who believe CNN, MSNBC, people who believe the Democrats and the Republicans, they want you to believe it too, because it helps them build up what I think what we get from each other. It helps them to feel like they're not crazy, and that's a mistake. They're supposed to feel crazy because they are. Kathleen, they're crazy. They're supposed to feel crazy. Andrew's in Cape Cod. Oh, too cold up there. Wait, Cape Cod? Where's Cape Cod at? I'm getting old. Cape Cod. Oh, yeah, you're up in the cold area too. Oh, it's too cold up there. So many people don't talk or communicate. Yeah, they don't, Susan. I don't know what's wrong with. Oh, y'all talking about Kenny Rogers? I'm way behind in the comments. Hey, Ty, what's going on? Ty came in the room. You probably gone by now. Ty, they don't care how you die. They don't care. Oh, I'm way up in the room. We didn't had a lot of stuff happen. Jasmine done came back. Oh, I'm going down. Let me move down. Let me get down to the. Chris done came back. Chris stopped picking cotton too. Oh my gosh. Let me go down. Stay curious. Let me go. I'm way lost in comments. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm talking about stuff. Okay, now I'm down at the bottom of the comments. Okay, now I'm caught up. Preach spirituality, not religion. I'm gonna stay caught up in the room now. The weather is crazy all over the planet. Yes, it is, Susan. It's just what the planet does. Expecting a tropical storm in California. Oh, okay. We're here. I think we're supposed to snow here till tomorrow, so they expect everything's gonna be closed tomorrow. So I'll probably do a lot. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a live stream tomorrow too. I don't know if I don't have anything else to do. Although I do, I got raspberries to plant. And what else did I get? I think I got blueberry. Is it blueberry? I think yeah. I think I got raspberries and blueberries. I need to plant. I got to get them out of their little bags and put them in some pots. Um, it's rare, Kathleen. It's rare to find a human that isn't just mind controlled and hypnotic. It is, but we found a bunch of them, and I think we're helping each other to stay sane, which is very important. If we're going to bring about any change, we can't be crazy. We can't go back to being like them. We have to have a sense of ourselves, and we got to sound logical. Um, I have daffodils blooming. I don't. I have some stuff blooming. No, Kathleen, it's not just you. I got my bougainvillea are blooming. My lantana are blooming. Now they're all inside, obviously. Um, I got an avocado tree that's blooming. I got some stuff that's blooming, but it's in my sun porch area. It can't be outside. Um, Marion, all the mudslides and fires and other things in California, things are crazy everywhere. Yeah, they are. All right. Oh, Jasmine, your phone died. Oh, okay. That's why you had to step out. Well, let me see. Everything in Georgia here is in bloom. All right, we had a long conversation today. If y'all don't have anything else to talk about, I'm gonna go ahead and back off. I don't know what I'm gonna eat for breakfast. I think I'm gonna eat I'm either gonna make some gluten-free waffles or I'm gonna make a smoothie. I know I got bananas in there and I got a lot of veggies, so I might do that. But I'm gonna have to eat something sometime today. So if nobody has anything else, oh, y'all are commenting on stuff. Y'all stop commenting. That's when I'm gonna stop. No, that's not true because you have me. It might have me here all day, but I'll go as long as there's something to talk about. Uh, I'm just a youngster, only 43. Yeah, I'm a youngster, Susan. I am a baby. I believe in respecting your elders. I'm like this. I believe, and I'm an old dude though to somebody in 20s. I'm like ancient and I'm like geriatric and falling apart to them. Somebody's always old to somebody, but I think the whole elder thing is smart. Listen to people who are experienced. I believe in being quiet and listening to people who have more experience than I do in places. It's how one way that you get smarter. Kenny Rogers was for you. Oh, he's saying, yeah, the gambler. I remember the gambler. Uh-huh. Well, I listened to Kenny Rogers, but I went to a weird school. I went to a school. Um, yeah, well, I don't know where I heard Kenny Rogers from. I listen to weird music though. I listen to a lot of old stuff. I like Frankie Lyman. I don't like a lot of modern music. When I hear somebody I like, I listen to them. I like old hip hop because old hip hop was about fun stuff, and I don't like the new stuff. I don't like no gangster rap or nothing like that. I like Nora Jones. I like who's a brother? I like Jack Johnson. I like Iron and Wine. I like music that talks about happy things and good things. Um, of course, Anita Baker and Whitney Houston, the people who just phenomenal singers. But I'm not like a new person song type person. I like happy, fun music. Uh, yeah, it is long, Jasmine. I was on for a long time. I have spinach, kale, eggplant, beets, turnips, carrots, potatoes, greens, beans, radishes, lots of herbs all growing right now. Crystal, you just made my breakfast. I'm gonna make an omelet. Thank you. You just made me hungry as all get out. I'm gonna make an omelet. That's what I'm gonna make for breakfast. One day I'll take my camera in there and I'll make breakfast for y'all. We'll do some cooking. I love cooking. I like raw meals, but I love my veggies with lots of vegetables. I'm gonna make me a big vegetable omelet. That's what I'm gonna do. Um, Whipped cream. I don't have any whipped cream. I'm not gonna put. I know I'm not gonna put whipped cream on my. If I do waffle, I don't think I'm gonna do waffles anymore. But I like whipped cream on special occasions, not today. I've been eating. I've got away from my dairy creamer, so I'm happy about that. See, my coffee, I've got oh, it was almond milk and maple syrup, so I got rid of creamer. So I'm distancing myself from dairy as much as possible. So I'm not going to do the whipped cream. Uh, Susan said, accept my friend request. I'm gonna accept your friend request. I accept Susan. Susan's authoritarian, y'all. She said I gotta accept her friend request right now. I can't wait. So now I'm young and I'm 43. I have to accept it right now. I can't wait. I have to go over here, accept her friend request. I'm not on Facebook. I know I'm talking on Facebook. I wasn't looking at Facebook. I'm looking at your comments. The friend request doesn't look like it came through yet, or it's taking a while to upload. Um, Super green smoothie. Yep. Well, yeah, I should make a smoothie. Age is mentality. Yeah, age definitely has a lot. I know people who are young who just get it. And a lot of people who are old who are just lost. Um, so age is more of an experience thing. You know, there are a lot of smart young people, but there's that experience that comes with age. And you know, I think what is it? There's experience, there's intelligence, and maybe there's wisdom. You got to have experience, friends. But I'll tell you a hint, Susan. Everything I do is public anyway. So you won't see anything. I don't think you'll see anything different. I think the only thing you can't see when everything is public is one of my friends' posts. I think my friends' posts are friends only, but usually all my posts are just complete in public. You know, I don't care what people say. Everything I say, I stand behind and I believe in. So I don't mind my posts being public. Brother Andrew said Wu Tang. Yeah, I love Wu Tang and Tribe Called Quest. I love just old hip hop. I don't like the new stuff. I don't like rap. Don't sing to me about like being foul to women, and don't sing to me about unhappy, angry things. And like I love happy music. I love people who talk about happy stuff and fun stuff. I don't it gets too serious. I don't like it. I listen to all kind of music. Yeah, Elizabeth. I know she made me hungry too. She's down there bragging about all the delicious veggies she got growing. So that's how I know this live stream is about to come to an end, y'all. It's all Crystal's fault because she made me hungry. Um, yeah, I have to get a veggie omelet. That's gonna be delicious too. Ooh, I'm gonna make a nice. I'm just gonna be a big fat one. I might, you know what? I might not even work on hot water heater today. Got to know when to hold them, when to fold them. I might lay down. I watched all my Black Mirror episodes. I might lay down, find me a good movie or something, and just be fat. Some days you got to be fat, y'all. You just got to be just lay around, be lazy. You got to be a human being. Um, what time is it where I am? Here, it's 2:30, 2:30 p.m. and I haven't eaten breakfast yet. I know that's crazy. Um, on the East Coast. I'm an inspiration. Thank you, Susan. I hope I am. I didn't know that I am. I hope so. Um, you're 25. Joe, you ain't no 25. Stop it. Joe, you're 25? Joe, I thought you were an old dude. Are you? I didn't know that. What about when they find the Dalai Lama inherited experience from past life? Um, I believe in past life. I think that's true, Andrew. I think it's true because of weren't there like 1,000 books written on like past life or hundreds of books written on past lives, but there was that one was it there was a one guy he was studying past lives and he went around but he found a couple people. I forgot how many, but they were kids, I think, or I forgot. I'm gonna mess it up. But anyway, there were people who had never been to a house before. They were I don't think they were ever in that country, but so they went to India or something, and she knew where all the rooms were in the house. That this is here, that's here, that's here, that's here. Because in a past life, I was somebody else, and so they've proven that a couple times was my point. So they've proven that there are people who knew things from past lives. So either they're in tap with something else that we don't understand, or we do come back. Um, You mean I won't see you in underwear? Nope, nobody's ever gonna see me in underwear. That's for my wife that I don't have and my girlfriend that I don't have either. Nope, nope, not an underwear. Nope, nope. I am not explicit. Um, Old Tupac. Yep, I like Tupac. Tupac was wonderful. I thought maybe we could privately message and even talk on the phone. Absolutely, I'm good with that. Um, you can probably hear my stomach growling. I can't hear yours, Crystal, because mine too loud. So I'm getting to the bottom of the comments. Um, this was like, I don't even know what this was. This wasn't a live stream. This was like a talk stream. We started off talking about a topic, but it became so many other things. But now I'm hungry. I'm hungry, so I'm gonna have to go. This was, and when did it start? I think I started around 11. This was like 4 or 5 hours. This is ridiculous. I have to go. I'm gonna go make breakfast. So, hey, listen, people. People! Thank you for hanging out. It was a lot of fun. If anybody watched the whole 4 or 5 hours of this, I apologize. I'm so sorry that I made you do this. You will never get that 4 or 5 hours back in your life. It's just never you'll never get that time back, and I can't give it back to you. But we just started talking. It became what it became. So anyway, I'm done. I'm shutting down. I gotta go. Love y'all to death. Thank y'all for jumping in and hanging out and having a good long conversation. I really appreciate it, but I am going to have to go and make me an omelet because Crystal made me hungry. Great conversation, you guys. Honestly, love y'all to death. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. I don't know. If I feel like doing something later, maybe I'll do something later. I don't have much to do today, so we'll see how that goes. But anyway, thanks for hanging in. It was nice talking to y'all. Love y'all to death. Bye-bye.